Welcome to Break Fix's Drive Thru News, your monthly recap for everything fast, fascinating, and usually four-wheeled. We're serving up a fresh batch of automotive headlines, motorsports madness, and car-adjacent curiosities, all with zero wait time and maximum flavor. From Formula One drama to concept car debuts with garage-built legends to the quirkiest stories rolling out of the state of Florida, we've got your fix. So grab your coffee, buckle up, and let's cruise through the latest in the world of wheels with a side of entertainment and just a dash of tire smoke.
During 2025, Formula One was more than a championship. It was a saga of speed, rivalry, and redemption. From Melbourne's opening roar to Abu Dhabi's final curtain, the season unfolded like a high-octane drama. McLaren's resurgence, Verstappen's relentless pursuit, Russell's defiance, and Ferrari's gamble with Hamilton all collided in a year that tested the limits of man and machine. This is the story of the 2025 Formula One season, told month by month, race by race, and moment by moment.
The year began not with the roar of engines, but with whispers in the paddock. Hamilton's move to Ferrari sent shockwaves through the sport, while Bahrain's winter sun revealed McLaren's hidden speed. The stage was set, the players assembled, and the world held its breath.
Now that Hamilton is over at Ferrari, and we'll talk about that more, especially the photos that came out, him looking like Schumi and stuff, that he gave some really profound investment advice over the winter break. He says, hypercars are boring. You should buy a classic car.
And art.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, rich guy.
I mean,
what do you say to that? The ocean has water in it, and it's wet. Moisture is the essence of water.
I mean, cool.
Right?
His version of it. So we all can buy a classic car.
Yeah.
Right? Dan's got a mountain of them.
Now, hold on.
Right?
There's a difference between a classic car and whatever's going on at the mountain. There's a big difference. Do you call the cars at a junkyard classics?
Well, it depends on the level of classic, because of a certain age,
Cars of a certain age.
you can start calling it a classic. And even normal people can buy a classic car. You could have a 60s Mustang. That would be considered a classic.
Yeah, for sure.
A 60s Mustang, yes. Ford Taurus that nobody wants is not a classic.
He had two Mercury Sables.
Tanya, your point is like what happens on classic rock radio, where Nirvana is classic rock now. So everybody listens to classic rock.
Hamilton's comment is like, okay, cool. You're going to go buy a classic car. You're not going to go buy a 20 grand 1960s Mustang or a Camaro or something from that age. You're going to go buy some classic car that's going to cost $750,000 or $2 million. Some Mercedes, one of a kind, Gull Wing, SL, blah, blah, blah.
Don't buy a LaFerrari, buy a 250 GTO.
Yeah.
He's talking about shit that nobody can afford. So cool for you. Yeah, everybody should buy a classic car, but everybody that can buy a classic car is going to be buying not those things.
Buy a classic car, not a shitbox.
Sound buying advice from Lewis Hamilton.
And art. Who can afford art? Really? I'm sure I can go buy the knockoff reprint.
Yes, hold on. Allposters.com.
Yeah.
Everybody go to Display and get your art there.
Oh boy. That's definitely not a what should I buy episode in the making.
Rich people.
What should I buy? What art goes with my car?
People would probably listen to that more than some of the other what should I buys. We've done like 25 what should I buys, and that's the one people will probably listen to is what Van Gogh or Renoir goes with my Bugatti. Like, ugh, stop.
See, and the Picasso would go with the Cybertruck.
I feel like you are grossly overestimating the buying capacity of our listeners.
All 3 Arbitron rated listeners we have.
Yes. I don't think Mark Hewitt is out there buying a Veyron.
Nope.
Or Chiron or whatever. And then he's going to steal and buy the Mona Lisa.
Well, we opened the door, and I already mentioned, you've seen him now in the Ferrari driving suit, pre-practice and all that kind of stuff. I still think it's weird to see him at Ferrari. People are, already creating memes about him there at Ferrari headquarters in the big black double trench coat and all that stuff, looking very much like Schumacher did the same thing, 25 years ago. Okay, sure.
I think it's awesome.
Hamilton's at Ferrari. He's going to suck.
They've been actually fairly competitive the last 2 seasons. They've had a good car, team orders, and like some poor mistakes made by the drivers. I actually feel like this is good, and I think he's going to be better than people are giving him credit for.
I don't think so. I think he's done. I think he's too old, and if he was still good, he'd be good, and he's not good.
No, there's no way. Like the Mercedes, it got better. They improved it definitely in the last season. The season before, even the 2 seasons before, the car was crap. Like it was visible. There's no amount of anything he could do. When you saw the straight line speed and the disparate difference in that speed, there's no way he or Russell could have competed in that version of the car in those seasons. The car was crap. It was so freaking slow. Absolute garbage. Verstappen could have been in it and he wouldn't have won.
That's because I think they were cheating. If you compare him to the rest of the cars, he wasn't doing that great there either.
But the car was not good against, it was better than like Haas and like Williams and those cars, but it wasn't better than Ferrari even in those seasons. They struggled to even be like the top 10. The car was so bad. And then in the last season, at least, they were getting podiums.
How does Mercedes struggle to build a car? Like that to me doesn't make sense.
They were struggling to build a competitive race car.
I think that's BS. I'm calling flag on the play. You can't tell me the Mercedes that has a racing pedigree that's longer than anybody there can't build a car.
Well, they didn't because they went through that whole porpoising thing where the car was completely unstable and jumping around. So they did something.
But that was happening to everybody though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Mercedes took the longest to figure it out, and they had it more drastic. You know what I feel like the catalyst was for Mercedes, and it's probably doesn't make any sense or whatever, but Niki Lauda, when Lauda passed, he was doing a lot for them still up until then.
Yeah, he was team consultant.
They lost his expertise and years of experience and knowledge, and I feel like it seems to have had an effect on them.
Maybe he was the Mercedes whisperer.
Yeah, but he was the Ferrari whisperer before that. Basic suspension, yeah, sure, that's all the same, but I think the technology far surpassed Lauda's expertise because he raced in the 70s and the 80s. We're 40 years in the future. The cars aren't even close to being the same.
Yeah, but he was an engineer. He didn't walk away from Formula One. He stayed in it that whole time. And as an engineer, he probably learned.
Exactly. Just because he wasn't racing doesn't mean he wasn't driving the cars.
He's not Adrian Newey.
He was doing better than Adrian Newey was when he was alive. The team was winning.
The point is not one person designs the car, and you can't tell me that Mercedes doesn't have talented people that could design a car that could be competitive as everybody else.
Apparently not as talented as Red Bull and Ferrari and McLaren.
It was wildly uncompetitive against many other manufacturers for at least 2 years. So I know you want to say Red Bull was cheating. If you take Red Bull out of the picture, their performance with everybody else was hot garbage. So was everybody else cheating as well? And it was just Mercedes?
They were only faster than the back markers.
Basically, that's all that car could do.
It's a mid-pack team. I get it. Point being, though, I don't think you're going to see a whole hell of a lot out of Lewis at Ferrari. That's my prediction. It's going to be more of the same.
I think he's going to be better than you're predicting, and that's my prediction.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing it. Well, this is funny. Eric's very strong about his opinion, and he hasn't watched a Formula One race in like 20 years, but he's very confident and strong about all of it.
I secretly keep up with it. I don't have to watch the races to get the race results and read and understand.
That's how I feel about Rally.
Stop it. Stop it.
Okay, this is us making our picks like for the NFC Championship game coming up. The Redskins versus the Eagles. Who's going to win the F1 championship this year?
It's not going to be Ferrari.
Who's it going to be? Who's going to win the drivers championship and who's going to win the constructors? They do not have to be the same.
It's going to be Verstappen again, as long as he's still driving, and whatever other blah, blah, blah. Because
that's not who won the constructors championship this year.
So so McLaren won the constructors championship. I know that, the whole Zach Brown thing. It's like, okay, so it's McLaren's year. Let's see what happens. But I don't think Ferrari's going to do it. Ferrari doesn't feel like it's been competitive for a while.
Ferrari was very competitive last season. They were a lot more competitive than they have been in the last X number of years.
I feel like Ferrari made an upgrade in driver.
Yes, with dots after it.
So as long as their car is still as competitive as it was in prior years, and if they made an upgrade in driver, then that should tell you that they should perform better, at least as good as they did in prior years or better.
I think it'll be interesting to see. I think you could tell with the Mercedes being so uncompetitive, Hamilton didn't give a shit. And why should he? What, is he going to bust his ass out there to come in 10th? Okay, he came in 10th, but it's like, how much more is he going to bust his ass? He was never going to come in first. So your drive and your passion gets killed a little bit when you're like, I got to drive this freaking turd and there's nothing I can do. And it's like, I know I'm a better driver than these people, but like, I can't compete. Like, you put me in a Pinto and I'm racing against GT40s.
He wants to be Senna. That was his role model. That's the Senna in the Tolman story, where the Tolman they were like Haas back then. He ended up almost winning that Monte Carlo race, even though they cheated and took it away from him. But there's all these regulations and shit that was used against him. But
I don't know if it's apples to apples.
But the thing is, if you have the determination as a driver, you're going to try regardless and not just be like complacent and take a paycheck. And that's the thing is, if Hamilton has been resting on his laurels for the last couple of years, it means he's lost his edge, which means he's not going to be fast.
Here's the question that I have. Maybe it won't matter, but Mr. Verstappen, will he lose his edge now that he's going to be a father?
I am surprised he didn't quit at the end of this season and just be like, I'm done. That's it. 4. That's all I need.
He has a contract. He's not allowed out till like 2028. I mean, I'm sure he can buy himself out, but technically he's got a contract till then.
Or until he underperforms enough that they really need to get rid of him.
Of course, they'll kick him out, but are they going to do that?
If he causes enough nuisance, I'm sure he will. You know what I mean?
He's just got to curse on air a couple times. Let's move on to another former Mercedes driver that I think is doing great things.
You talking about Bottas?
Bottas is my spirit animal. He is my new favorite driver in F1. He's awesome. I love Bottas.
I thought it was hilarious because Tanya goes, that man needs to get a haircut. And I said, I'm glad you mentioned that because there's an Instagram video of Bottas getting a haircut.
He needs to shave that mustache off. It's so nasty.
That's the point.
I know it is.
Have you seen the whole thing now? The gimmick with his stunt double who looks nothing like him? It's hilarious.
I just saw a thing of him doing, I think actually coincidentally also in Australia, because he's very big into cycling as well.
Yeah.
And he competes in a lot of different races.
In nude swimming in creeks.
And he was doing, no, it was a nude bike, well, quote nude, like he was just in his underwear and he was, and like everybody was just like in their underwear basically doing this bike ride. I was like, oh my God. Also, one, that sucks because the underwear don't think was padded. So that's rough bike ride. Have fun with that.
Some guys like that.
Yes, he was sporting his mustache and living his best life naked on his bike.
Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle.
And I think his stunt double his stunt dude must have been with him because there was another guy like next to him on a bicycle that like looked a lot like him.
Yes, that's the guy. Yeah, 100%.
But this is a good follow on social media. He's good stuff.
He is entertaining, that's for sure. See,
Yes.
I keep up with Formula One. I keep up with the right stuff in Formula One.
The stuff that matters. Bottas's haircut. This is the podcast that we should be having. This is Bottas's fashion and haircut. There you go.
Hey, there are podcasts out there that built themselves around that whole principle. I'm not throwing any shade.
I know they've been former guests
And they are no longer producing shows. So that's that.
Oh, they're not.
No, they are off the air.
Did you miss that?
What?
They retired at the end of the season. They're done.
So sad.
So Bottas, Perez is out. He doesn't have a seat.
Nope.
Okay, he's out.
Bye.
Going into this season, Verstappen's teammate is going to be Lawson?
Yep.
How's that going to work?
If the guy holds his ego in check, should work out fine. He's got to be a team player. By team player, Max Verstappen is number one.
Yeah.
And you do everything to protect him, and he'll always be in front of you.
So it's Schumi and Barrichello all over again. I get it. We got Lawson moved to Red Bull. We got Carlos Sainz went to Haas.
No.
Williams. He went to
Williams.
Williams. Okay. And then Hamilton went to Ferrari, and Leclerc is still at Ferrari.
Yes.
Are any new drivers coming in for this season?
Yes.
A couple.
There's a lot of youngins with no experience.
Are they driving for Audi, Gazoo, or Andretti at any point in 2025?
Even though it's Audi, it's still Sauber for 2025. They'll officially be Audi in 2026. And so Audi has brought on Nico Hulkenberg. They moved him from Haas, and he's going to be the Audi driver in 2026, but he's already going to sit in the Sauber next year. And then they brought in a Brazilian driver, Gabriel Bortoleto, who's the other number 2 chair.
So speaking of Audi, what is this that they were looking to sell out their investment and get out of Formula One before they even got started? Is that true or is that crap?
I think it's crap because if you go on Audi's website, they have a whole page dedicated to Formula One talking about their entrance in 2026. And that they also, I think they got some Qatar investment money as well.
And there is still rumor on the street, and I brought it up because I wish them the best, that Andretti and GM are coming to Formula One at some point.
So Cadillac's coming to Formula
Which is General
One.
Motors.
Right. That was, I think, greenlit. If it isn't, it's about to be. It might not be completely complete. It seems like it actually is going to happen versus the Andretti one, which is just, that makes no sense.
That doesn't mean that Andretti can't come along with General Motors.
I mean, pretty much.
And then at some point, General Motors says, have you met Michael? And then passes the baton, and then Andretti's in Formula One. I mean, what is this backdoor nonsense that we're
I don't
doing?
know. Because there's also been talks about like, oh, maybe Perez will come back and could race for like Cadillac, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we'll see.
What year is that going to happen?
I think they're trying to do it for 2026.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's when there's a rule change that's happening in 2026. So that's why then take an engine to something. So that's when Audi can officially come in.
Apparently, Andretti is scaling back his role in the team and in the organization, which I guess that is making F1 more accepting of having all this happen.
So you drop back and you punt and then first down.
It also says that Cadillac's motors aren't going to be ready until 2028. So it's going to be a GM branded car with a different engine supplier. How funny would it be if it was a Ford?
Yeah, or it's a Honda with a GM badge, which was the Porsche thing, right? Where it was going to be a Honda engine with a Porsche badge. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
When do they reveal the new cars that look just like the cars from the year before?
That's in, I think,
Over
February.
the next couple months.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts like into January. There's a whole schedule out there of the team reveals and stuff.
Are we still doing Visa, Cash App, Steak, Chipotle, MoneyGram? Like, is that all like a thing, or have all the teams changed again?
Wasn't that Audi now?
Their Kicksauber or whatever.
MoneyGram was Haas.
Visa, Cash App, blah, blah, blah is now Racing Bulls,
Toro Rosso.
but Racing Bulls.
AlphaTauri.
It was AlphaTauri, then it was something, I don't know. It was AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso, Visa Cash App, something, and now it's Racing Bulls.
Why do they need to keep changing the name?
All right, all that aside, is Ocon back or not?
He's Haas.
Terrible. All right, that's all I needed to know. I'm rooting for Ocon. Ocon's going to take it this year. He's going to take all of them.
Ocon? Yeah, right.
That's my prediction.
He's going to take them all out. That's what he's
Yeah,
gonna do. He's gonna take them all out.
exactly. Take out his partner.
Pre-season buzz. Lewis Hamilton's blockbuster move to Ferrari shook the grid. February testing in Bahrain revealed McLaren's pace, hinting at a season of dominance. The engines hadn't yet roared in anger, but the paddock was already ablaze with speculation.
Formula One season hasn't started yet. Russell is the senior driver at Mercedes now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there anything else to say?
He thinks it's going to launch a new era for himself or a new chapter or whatever, but he has no team support because he's got, forget who now is the dude, but he's a complete rookie. Green in F1.
Oh, that's Antonelli.
So that's great, but it's also helpful when you have a teammate that at least is marginally competitive alongside you that can do things like help block or fend off the approach of everyone else. But I see him being mostly alone, and he's probably going to struggle.
Antonelli is what? How old is he now? 2025.
Well, I don't know.
Well, he's 19. I think he's like the youngest Formula One driver on the grid. I don't think he's the youngest to start a Formula One race, but he's the youngest in Formula One and right now. And it's just like, apparently Mercedes handpicked him when he was 11, back when he was go-karting and stuff. And so I don't know. I guess they've invested a lot of money in him and time and resources over the last 8 years. So they're hoping he's going to be the next prodigy.
Didn't he have like a big, massive, unnecessary wreck one of his first races?
I believe so, yeah. I don't see good things for Mercedes this year. Yeah, but there is rumor that your boy Bottas.
He's a reserve driver again for them.
Yeah.
Which honestly would mean if Antonelli doesn't deliver, maybe there's a chance they kick him out and put Bottas back in the seat. But then Bottas would be the senior driver.
Would he though, or has he got to take team orders from Russell?
I guess it would depend on what the performance looks like.
Bottas is faster than Russell. We already know that, right? So what is he going to do? Just sandbag the whole time?
And are we just saying senior driver as a product of their age, or do we mean like their
Seniority.
the lead driver, like
Yeah.
the driver one and driver two?
By senior, we mean the lead for the team,
Okay.
which generally should be dictated by experience,
Or it should be dictated by wins, whoever's performing the best.
which would then be Bottas.
I was going to say, because Russell has none and Antonelli has none.
No, Russell's won, I don't know, 3, 4.
There's more that goes into it, obviously, than wins and stuff like that and experience and everything, but it's who they're hanging their future on.
Which probably wouldn't be Bottas.
Because Bottas is towards the end of his career. But Russell is still very much in the middle of his career. He's like reaching his peak or his prime. Antonelli is starting, what they're hoping is a really good career. But to talk about something Mercedes adjacent, who is the quote unquote senior driver now at Ferrari? Is it Hamilton or is Leclerc still driver one?
It's got to be Hamilton.
That is something I've been wondering, because that is a very ugly political drama that they are now in.
Because Leclerc was driver one when Sainz was there, right?
Correct. Supposed to be.
Yeah.
But how do you bring the 7-time world champion onto your team and say you're number 2?
And this goes back to what I said last time about Lewis Hamilton not being able to do jack of all at Ferrari, because if they play Ferrari politics like they always have, just like the opportunities when Barrichello had to win over Schumi and they said, get out of the way, Rubens, Michael's coming through. If Leclerc is senior driver, Hamilton has to follow team orders because that's the way it works. And he's not going to amount to jack at the end of the year because he's always going to be in second place to Leclerc.
Unless he's outperforming Leclerc, then they're going to tell him.
Depends on how his contract is written. If his contract is written that he is the number 2 driver, he's done.
There is no way his contract is written that he's a number 2 driver. He is going for 8th world champion. There's no way he's going to sign something that's going to prevent him from being an 8-time champion.
Then that answers your question.
Yeah, I guess it does.
There you go.
But if he's not performing, I don't think they're just going to be like, Leclerc, sandbag and make sure, you let Lewis win, right? But if he actually is a contender, there's no way they're going to tell Leclerc.
Yeah, that's true. And to Eric's point in previous episodes, they have to actually be in a position to win a race.
Duh.
Before any of this
Yes.
comes in question anyway. So they've still got a lot of work to do.
This is all posturing now because we don't know what's going to happen. The only thing we do know is they revealed the new cars, which to me look exactly like the cars from last year.
They always do. Like a couple years ago, I got super excited about all the car reveals and I looked at them and like sometimes they release them in like really cool colors or something really unique. And then comes race day and it's like, it's the exact same cars before. What did you change? What is this? I don't care.
I've been saying that and everybody makes fun of me, but whatever, it's fine. And the Mercedes especially looks the same as it did the W16, whatever the hell, whatever, who cares? Same cars last year with suckier drivers.
When does your album come out?
What do we call my album? Bimmers and Bends?
If I may digress for a moment, just tangentially, I finally started watching the Netflix docudrama Senna.
Oh, did you?
I am on the final episode. Of course, I know how it ends.
It's like Titanic.
No spoilers. No
Don't
spoilers.
spoil it for us.
Unfortunately, I know how it ends. Wow, that's an interesting
Yeah,
little
interpretation.
miniseries.
Yeah. You got to listen to the podcast episode we did with John Summers and Will Ross.
And I have not, because I wanted to experience the series for myself.
You'll have to come back and tell us if we were right.
Well, I will say, and you don't have to confirm or deny anything, there is definitely a sense of, this is Jesus Christ.
So the word the motoring historian John Summers likes to use is beatification. That is the official word he uses to summarize that sentiment that Senna is God.
Yeah, very interesting.
And Prost is Darth Vader, but whatever. It's all good.
Is that completely untrue?
Well, you need to listen to the episode for sure, because we get into all that. So that being said, last little bit of Formula One stuff. Your boy, Toto, Mr. Mercedes, highest paid player in Formula One. This is why Mercedes can't win anything. They're too busy paying Toto's salary. He had a response to Hamilton's iconic recreation of Schumacher's photograph at Maranello. What do we think?
I don't actually know what his response was.
The article is clickbait.
No, they have it down there. It's a little bit like you divorce amicably and it's all good. Then you see your ex-partner for the first time with a new friend.
Lame.
But I'm really happy for him. And I told him that those pictures were iconic that he made. It was so well curated and no surprise with Lewis. So it's all good fun. He's fine.
Do people not realize it is literally a copy of something that Schumacher did 30 years ago?
Literally everybody realizes that, yes.
It's nothing new or iconic. It was already done and it was iconic then. It's weird. Am I wrong?
Well, he's trying to tap into his inner Schumacher.
This is my problem with Hamilton. If you remember him when he was really young and he showed up on Top Gear and he was like the last one to drive the old piece of junk celebrity car that they had, and he was like super fast and he blew everybody out of the water and he was just a young guy. That was the last time I think I saw Hamilton like be himself. He turned into this machine of the media kind of thing, and he's like a little Ken doll that they dress up. I feel like he never gets to be who he was then when he was up and coming in racing and he was fast and he was good. And not saying he isn't good today, but he's older, he's more mature now, and I think he's part of the machine rather than just being himself.
So that brings up a good point. You think this photo was put together by Ferrari and it wasn't Hamilton's idea?
I do think that, yes. He's like a little dress-up toy. He's a puppet.
See that?
Ferrari's trying to make a statement. You got to remember Ferrari too. You don't go to Ferrari and give them an idea. They tell
That's
you
true.
what needs to be done. That's what they wanted. And maybe in their eyes, they see Hamilton as Schumacher's replacement. Schumacher never got the 8th. He left after his 7th, right? He went to Mercedes. Speaking of Mercedes, never accomplished anything there. And then obviously the tragedy of the accident and all that kind of stuff. And now they have Hamilton and they're like, we can be part of the 8th that we never had with Schumi. So let's sort of pick up where Schumacher left off. But it's not. Just let him be who he's going to be. And I don't know. That's what turns me off about it versus like, I know that Alonso's the elder statesman. I'm not a huge Alonso fan, but Alonso's always been Alonso. When he was in WEC, when he was in Formula One, when he went to IndyCar, it's like, hey, you just kind of follow him around. You go, hey, it's Alonso. You know, he is who he is. But there's been, for me, this transformation with Lewis that I don't understand. But I'm glad to see Bottas back. He's the Finn that's going to be an Australian soon, right? Like he's making his own transformation, but in a good way.
We won't belabor it, but I
No.
think he is being who he is, and who he is a person that evolved from where he was when he was younger. And whether we like what that evolution is, it's an evolution for him.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, on that depressing bit of food for thought.
When the lights went out in Melbourne, the waiting was over. Lando Norris seized victory, igniting McLaren's charge. A week later in Shanghai, Oscar Piastri answered back, proving this would be no one-man show. The season had begun, and the papaya orange was impossible to ignore.
Guess what I subjected him to?
You made him watch a race.
I made him listen to it. It was on the laptop in the garage while we were doing some work. I had the race playing, so he at least was listening to it, possibly sometimes seeing it.
So I'm just sitting here waiting for Eric to say, I told you so.
Thank you.
He said it
Thank
multiple
you.
times. He said
Yes.
it multiple times.
Thank you. I'm going to be nice.
Bullshit. When are you ever nice?
Flag on the play. I'm going to start with Alonso's. He was baffled by his unlucky crash that came out of nowhere because it was the same freaking corner that everybody was trying to cut in the rain through the sand trap. And if it worked for the first guy, it must work for the rest of us. Meanwhile, crash off into the side, eating a sandwich. He's done. I kept saying it. I was like, every time somebody came through that turn to that chicane, I'm like, you guys, you know it's raining. The curbs are slicker than snot, and you've got this garbage sand on the inside. And you saw it happen with Piastri. He coated his tires. He made it to the next corner, and then he was off because he had zero traction after putting it through the sand trap. And you're confused by what happened? This is like racing 101. Driving in the rain line is where you have grip.
Also, Don't touch the curbs.
No kidding. Like we learned all this crap in HPDE. Like we learned it all a million years ago. But again, they're Formula One. They're the best drivers in the world.
They need to go back to HPDE, I think.
He was surprised by the crash. Meanwhile, there's all the Instagram videos of Alonso. I never want to speak to the media again. I have nothing to say to you people. There is nothing new to talk about. I am a robot. Do not interview me anymore. I'm like, whatever, dude. Isn't it time you freaking retire?
It was a Sunday. Jesus was busy. He didn't have time to take the wheel in that case.
Let's get to the punchline here, okay? The juiciest part of the episode is about to happen. Hamilton.
First race of the season, McLaren wins. Lando Norris, P1.
Boom. Max Verstappen.
P2, because of Piastri's unfortunate slide in the last few laps of the race, as was just mentioned. Russell, Mercedes, P3.
Give us the rest of the drivers between Russell, Mercedes, and the inferior Mercedes. Mercedes can't develop a car.
Mercedes, rookie driver, Kimi Antonelli, 4th place. Alex Albon, Williams, 5th place. Lance Stroll, Aston Martin, 6th. Nico Hulkenberg's Kicksalver, 7th place.
Okay.
Charles Leclerc, Ferrari, 8th place.
Wait. What haven't I heard yet?
Oscar Piastri, McLaren, 9th place, who should have been 2nd.
Wait, hold on. We're at 9th place. We're like almost out of the points at this point.
A 2-position drop from his qualifying position of 8th place.
Who was in 10th place? Who was it again?
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, okay. All right.
With his debut Grand Prix with Ferrari.
Now, I will say a couple things. One, the Williams team really surprised me.
Sainz was in P2 during practice.
I'm sorry. Feel bad. He wrecked himself out on like lap 3.
Another one where Jesus was busy. And then the next thing I'll say.
Not today. Not today.
Not today, Carlos.
Jesus put up a sign and said out to lunch.
It's the time difference in Australia. He was like, nah, man.
True. He was in another part of the world. I'll also say it was mostly a rain race the whole time, pretty much. Rain races are very unpredictable and a lot of shit happens and a lot of the grid doesn't turn out like it usually does during a dry race. So rain races do have a lot of variability.
Flag on the, I can't even use the referee whistle anymore. I'm going to get a vuvuzela and be like, because isn't Hamilton touted as like one of the rain gods? Like when the weather gets bad, then Hamilton comes to life and all this BS.
Maybe in the Mercedes he was.
That's the Hamilton of 20 years ago because the Hamilton I saw in Australia in 2025, hang it up, brother. You're done.
We'll give him the benefit of a few more races to see how things turn out.
We're going to make it to the 3rd round, and I'm going to tell you it's going to be the same from then on.
He was also having trouble with the team strategy and like understanding the team strategy and stuff. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Ferrari though.
Yeah, Ferrari did what Ferrari does.
In offense or defense, whatever would be appropriate for here, they did Ferrari themselves because when it did start raining hard at the end of the race, everybody else pitted and they stayed out too many laps, kept trying to go on the hard tires. And when they all finally pitted, it effed Leclerc. He would have been way higher up based on where he was had he pitted with everybody else. But they kept them out and they did a typical bullshit Ferrari strategy of like 2 years ago.
Yeah, they looked like they were in the drive-through line at McDonald's, like one car behind the other. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? This is ridiculous. The thing is, that strategy, I don't know how to understand how you can't understand it. Like, they're going to tell you to pit and you come pit. But the strategy behind the wheel, when you're on track, you're driving and you're supposed to be driving to your limits and pushing past your limits and being the god amongst gods.
Actually, not anymore. See, because they actually tell them not to as the strategy.
Then what is the point of this anymore?
What I've observed over the last few years of coming back in and watching it is they go really hard, like the first 2-3 laps, they try to like win at the first corner basically. And then after the first couple laps, everybody just dials it back and they go into cruise mode.
It's tire preservation.
And then they all try to punch it in the last 2 laps of the race to win it again. But no, it's not like 20 years ago where it was like, we're going hard every lap. 12 tenths the whole time. No, they go like 11 tenths the first laps and then they go 7 tenths for 40 laps out of the race and then they start dialing it back in. Like they literally, like you can listen to the strategy where they're like, oh, you know, don't push. Or then they'll be like, okay, it's time to push now. Can you go faster?
Are they giving birth? Like, what is all this pushed up?
You know, Eric, to your point, they don't make drivers like they used to.
Can't all be Senna, can we?
Oh,
I'm just saying, Hamilton wrecked the Ferrari at the test track. I don't think it's going to get any better for him. And I don't want to hear about how, new team. Blah, blah, blah. You guys told me all this stuff.
They'll pull that because I already saw a thing where it showed his first years in any of the 3 teams he's driven in, he did not win. So even when he moved to Mercedes the first time, his first year was crap. He got points, he got some podiums and all that, but he was not won the first time. And the same thing with like McLaren for the 1 year that he did it, I guess, or whatever it was. And then so people are going to say if he has a bad year, they're still going to hang it and they're going to be like, oh, he did it with the other teams too. So we're going to hold out for, next year.
Yeah, sure. Just like every football team. But the point is, by that point, he'll be 2 years older than when he transitioned over. So he's aging out of Formula One. He just needs to stop.
you can't beat Father Time.
And it might just be that, reflexes are down, the drive to risk your life.
He's already proven what he needs to prove. Now, the thing is, if he's still got it in him to say he wants to better Schumacher and not be tied with Schumacher, then he's got to do it. But if he can't, then he can't. It is what it is. There's plenty of other champions out there that have settled for, I did what I came to do and I'm done. And what's the point of hanging on and collecting a paycheck at this point? Because to come in 10th.
Well, look at Alonso.
I don't understand what Aston Martin.
Two-time world champion coming in back marker. Well, mid-pack.
They're like Tom Brady.
It would have been hilarious if Alonso hadn't wrecked. He would have finished in front of Hamilton. But to have Lance Stroll and all these other guys in front of you that we make fun of all the time, in previous years, you're like, dude, you're done. Like, you're not Haas, but you might as well be.
Well, this weekend is the Chinese Grand Prix, so we'll see what happens there.
We shall see, shan't we? I'm coming over.
Which I saw something. They're having issues with tire logistics, like getting tires.
BS with tires. I don't want to hear it.
Suzuka belonged to Verstappen, a reminder of his relentless grip on the crown. But Bahrain and Jeddah told a different story. Oscar Piastri, young and fearless, claimed back-to-back wins. April was no longer about defending titles. It was about rewriting them.
Again, I've devoted 2025 to watching every race through the Formula One season. You guys,
I didn't know.
You called me out. You said, what do I know? I'm not a fan. I don't watch. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada. Hamilton's going to be the best. You're going to see Ferrari. Blah, blah, blah. The Mercedes is inferior.
I don't think we went that far.
Blah, 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 blah.
I think we've just said we couldn't count him out yet.
Yeah, we said he's not going to be a back marker like Eric said he was going to be.
Oh, really? And I told you, and I put money on this, that by the third race, he would cement exactly how he was going to do for the rest of the season. And we're at what, race 5 now?
Yes, we've had 5 races. I would say I don't know yet. He's not going to win a championship this year, that's for sure.
Not going to win one next year either.
He's so far been in the top 10 for the 5 races.
9th is in the top 10. Yeah, you're right.
No, he's currently 6th in points. He's not 9th. His best finish was 5th. Technically, his best finish was 1st in the sprint race.
That doesn't count.
But nonetheless, Bahrain, in the middle of that race, both he and Leclerc, there was like a light switch moment where they were like flying around the track. I don't know what turbo mushroom they got when they went into pit. When they came back out, I mean, there was like night and day, and they were like flying around the track. They were gaining time. And then it's like, I think they went back for like another pit stop, and suddenly like the mushroom wore off or something. So that was disappointing.
It's like, you remember Mario Kart 64 where you got the gold mushroom and you kept hitting the button as fast as you could? Yes. Because you wanted to go, the super boost, and then when it ran out, you were like, oh no.
That was the middle of that race. It was like, holy shit, like the Ferraris suddenly like work.
Software upgrade.
Yeah.
They didn't pay their subscription fees.
Yeah, that was what it was. They only did a temporary subscription. It was first 30 minutes free.
Wasn't it that wasn't there a yellow and they had put mediums on and everybody else put softs or something like that?
Their pit strategy is garbage.
Yes, it was something with the tires. Like they were doing really well on the tires they had, and then they switched off of them, and then suddenly it was like garbage. And it was like, why did you switch to these? Because you already knew from another team that these were garbage, and yet you chose them. Winning strategy. Great job.
Well, Ferrari's gonna Ferrari.
Yeah, and they do.
It's so dumb.
Unfortunately, if you'd watch the last like 3-4 seasons, they literally make the most bonehead decisions whether it's timing of pitting their people, the order of pitting them, team orders in general, the value of their pit stops, the value of their tire choices. They usually make the most asinine choices and then they suffer and they lose position. So yes, Ferrari's gonna Ferrari has become a thing because of the way they've managed themselves over the last several seasons.
As a tifosi, I'm going to die of a very old age. Like, I'm going to live to be 200 waiting for Ferrari to win a championship again. Like, this is unreal. The Keystone Cop garbage that I've been watching. Like, this is why I stopped watching Formula One. And every race is painful because it's like, what are you clowns doing? And then last year, if you go back even to the Formula One special and all that kind of stuff, and I talked about, you want to tell me that Mercedes can't build a car? You guys are like, oh, well, it's inferior, and Adrian Newey over at Red Bull.
It was.
And it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
No.
Adrian Newey goes to Aston Martin and nothing changes.
He's not doing anything yet. That's
well,
why.
yeah, because apparently they're making cars with scribes and adzes and stuff from the Egyptian period.
I don't know what the deal is with this magician Adrian Newey, okay, that apparently anytime he's been on the team that they've won the constructors for like the last 30 years or something like that. I have any idea. I really could give a shit. But if you watch the other races, the straight line speed and the out of cornering speed of the Red Bull was incomparable with anybody else.
They were cheating.
It passed the Mercedes and shit like it was parked in the paddock.
But the Mercedes this year,
because they do upgrades every year. At the end of the season, the car is different and they change something.
Does Ferrari do downgrades every year?
Yes, they do downgrades. Yes, 100%. Just like Mercedes did a big downgrade last year because their car was garbage compared to the year before.
Apparently they can't get their electronics right, as we saw with Russell. Which race was it? Bahrain?
I don't remember. But yeah, his timing system basically shut everything down on the track.
And he still survived without it. It was amazing.
Well, he barely made it because on like the last lap, it was like his whole car would. Remember, I joked. It was like I was like, dude is like gonna have total electrical failure and he's gonna not make it to the end of the race. It was like the last lap. And he's like, guys, my steering wheel's not working anymore. Like something wasn't working, and it was like the car was shutting down.
Yeah,
I don't think he had any more lap in it.
Outside of all that, I mean, Mercedes is doing great. Red Bull's doing Red Bull. Ferrari's whatever. China was meh. Suzuka was a complete snooze fest. So boring for such a legacy track with so much character and so much history. And you watch the old races of, Senna at Suzuka. The track hasn't changed other than the repave.
The cars have changed. The cars are twice as long as Senna's days. I mean, It's an exaggeration, but they're so much bigger. The rules are different. The parity is different.
So boring.
Basically watching it to finally one day be there to see something happen. Because honestly, after the first couple opening laps where you're checking to see if they don't wreck in turn one or wreck anywhere in the first lap, it basically becomes
an HPD
where they're just going around.
Awful. And then Bahrain was the most exciting race so far. Hands down, that was really good. And then Saudi is like a go-kart track. There is no space. There's zero space for error, as we saw with Sonoda in the second turn of the first lap. What the heck are you guys doing? And then, Max cutting off turn 2 because there was no room and that whole debate and debacle. But that track was boring. Like once they set their pace, it wasn't any better than Monaco, where there's no room to pass because the cars are too big. So the whole excitement of Formula One in the old days was them cutting it up and dicing it up. And why can't we go back to the smaller wheelbase cars?
Because then they'd be slower and then they can't be slower.
Do they really have to do 200 miles an hour? I mean, that's what the endurance cars do, right? Or more than 200, do like 230, but they've got the space to do it.
I think they should go back to manual gearboxes also to make it more interesting.
Yeah. The whole tire thing is dumb and the pit stop strategies are weird. And
well, there's no more refueling. So you took that variable out of it. Like you didn't have the guy running out of fuel in the last lap, had the minimum fuel load. So it was lightweight and going faster and miscalculated.
I noticed this year they got rid of the whole energy thing where they have the virtual refueling. That's gone, right? I haven't seen that again.
They don't really highlight it too much.
That wasn't F1. That was in IMSA. That was Le Mans.
Oh, maybe you're right.
There is a thing where they got to do something, but they don't usually publicize.
Well, anyway, Hamilton is not doing so great.
He's not impressing. There's lots of excuses, if you will.
That's the right word for it.
I don't know if you want to say excuses, but explanations that he gives. Like the latest one he was talking about was how different the brakes on the Ferrari are from what he's used to. And he said, he made a point of saying that he's never engine braked like ever, and that's something that you do in the Ferraris, and so he's not used to it, which if that's true, I mean, you could lose a lot of time if your brake points aren't correct.
But if they're using engine braking, then that means they can go deeper into the corners and use the engine to help slow the car down. It's not like the braking zones became longer as a result of it because Leclerc isn't complaining about those
Yeah,
problems.
but Leclerc's been driving the car for like 5 seasons or something, so he's gotten used to it.
Million-time world champion Lewis Hamilton doesn't know how to drive a Formula One car. Is that what you're telling me?
I've never driven a Formula One car. I don't know how easy it is to go from one to the other.
It's like Spec Miata. They're all the same, right? I mean, come on.
I mean, in theory, that it's all the same, but how do you eke out your 1210s?
Yeah, you eke it out when you're 18 years old and not 40 or 65 like Alonso.
And that might be true. Although Alonso had like, I forget how many, like 100 points last season. Like he actually podiumed.
Once.
No, in the first like 10 races, I think he was on the podium every time. And then the car like totally became like an ass. I don't know what they did.
They upgraded it.
They downgraded it.
Eric, you're just an ageist.
No. Okay, look at the rest of the field. The median age of the drivers. I mean, come on, they're all in their early 20s.
It's funny how he like rooting against, because in fact, like I'd love to see somebody who's 40 years old go out and kick the ass of all the 18-year-old new rookie drivers.
Yeah, I think he's just being contrarian because people like Lewis.
Probably.
No,
Like, oh,
this
fuck
is-
Lewis Hamilton.
He never liked Lewis, so that's part of it too.
This is just like when Lauda spent one too many seasons behind the wheel and he should have retired earlier than he did.
I mean, that's probably true, but they've all done it. Schumacher should have stopped.
Those 2 seasons with Mercedes were crap. He should have never done that. Like 100%. I don't disagree. And he was in his 40s as well. And no, I'm not saying that, somebody in their 40s or 65 like Alonso couldn't win a race or win a championship. But the point is, he's not showing any enthusiasm. Like even the background shots of Hamilton, like he's disconnected. They keep saying he doesn't get along with his race engineer. There's all these excuses, blah, blah, blah. Then why did you leave Mercedes? Because obviously the Mercedes suddenly got better overnight. Or did it get better because you weren't there sucking in the driver's seat? So which is it? I am throwing shade, but I'm not trying to be any sort of way to be like, look, if you can't do it, then hang it up. There's a lot of young drivers in F2 that want to move up and other people that want an opportunity. And both him and Alonso are sucking up a seat as the second chair, collecting a paycheck. Go do something else. Go race at Le Mans. Go do touring car. I don't care what you do. But in Formula One, I think he's done. I don't think, even if Hamilton runs another couple of years and say he goes to 43 or 44 like Alonso is, that's his real age, folks, that's another 4 years. I don't think he's got a championship in the next 4 years. I just don't see it. I don't see it with Ferrari. So who does he go to? Is he going to go Red Bull? Is he going to pull a Senna and go to, like he did with going to Williams in his last year? And then, well, that we know how that ended. But the point is, all that shuffling around, I think the younger guys, they just have the advantage. And I've been impressed because we make fun. Haas with Toyota has been doing really great this season. And Williams has been shockingly good. Bottom of the barrel teams, unfortunately, Sauber's just there.
Williams was middle pack last year also. So where they are right now is really no different. And they're not suddenly magic that they've never been before. Albon was doing pretty decently last year. And then they've got the benefit of Carlos in the other car, which he was a higher position person when he was in Ferrari. So there's obviously a difference between the two cars because he's not
Right.
in the top 5 at any point.
Again, they're putting the cars together with chisels and spoons or something. I don't know.
But they're all the same. It's Miata Cup, right?
That's what I'm saying.
He should be able to take pole and be in
Again,
first.
Aston Martin should have come out the gate with Adrian Newey on the payroll and won the championship. Fernando Alonso, champion 2025.
He's not. And you even read the article that said that Newey's gone in there and said, you all are sitting here with the most antiquated bullshit
Yes.
20-year-old stuff. What is he going to work with? It's going to take him God knows how many races and months before he gets things probably how he wants it.
And then he's going to go somewhere else.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not as long as Daddy Stroll's paying
Daddy
top
Warbucks.
dollar.
The Sonoda Liam Lawson thing is hilarious.
It's not surprising at all. To anyone who knows how the Red Bull people operate, this was a zero shock and should have been seen coming a mile away.
It's amazing how they could just switch, but then it's not amazing because it's all the same team. They have 4 cars. One's a junior team and one's a senior team, and they can move drivers around all day long. It's not like they fired him.
They would have fired his ass anyway because they did that with the junior team last year. They got rid of a driver completely.
Yeah.
If they didn't like Sonoda enough to move him up, they probably would have gotten somebody from anywhere else and brought him in. They don't give a shit.
Do you think he's going to make it to the end of the year?
I don't know, because if they're gonna, I don't know. When he didn't crash out, he was okay. He was better than Liam at least. So they probably going to give him a little bit more of a chance. But if he starts wrecking every race or finishing in the bottom, I don't know if there's like a driver swap limit in a season.
They'll bring Bottas in. That's what they'll do. Oh no, wait, he is at Mercedes as a backup driver. Never mind.
They'll bring back Checo.
Checo or Daniel Ricciardo. They're like, yeah, we'll settle for Ricciardo. It's fine. We'll just bring him back. It'll be okay. It's got to be better than this. So there's other controversy going on. Allegedly, supposedly, maybe. And this is, again, hokey pokey. And I read this on the Audi Club news that V10s could be returning, but Audi is not happy about that because that goes against their whole EV thing. So they're taking a stand and they might pull out, but they might stay in. But I don't know what's going on. But I'm excited. V10s returning to Formula One. Hallelujah. That's awesome.
The latest says they're not going to do the V10s, but who knows?
Again, the hokey pokey. But in some Formula One, Florida man, you mentioned Carlos. You had me cracking up about this the other day. Fill us in.
Feel bad for the guy because he got a 10,000 euro fine that he had to pay for being 5 seconds late to the Japanese anthem as it was playing at the very beginning of the festivities.
So with tariffs, that's like $50,000.
If you do the math, I mean, he's set to make $10 million this year.
Oh, it's nothing.
It's the equivalent. It's 10 basis points. It's point.
It's not that he can't afford
it's
it.
nothing. Yeah,
but it's the point.
Nothing.
Like really, it's like I was late because I was having a bathroom emergency.
He's making a big stink about it.
He literally flushed money down the toilet.
Yeah.
And they have very strict protocols and rules in F1 about being where you need to be and all that stuff. And he actually received a 50% penalty because they took pity on him. And the reason he was late was because he literally had to go to the bathroom. Number 2. And he even has a medical doctor saying that he was having stomach issues and that like legitimately, like he had to go to the bathroom and they still were like, no, we're still going to give you a 10,000 euro penalty. So basically stand there and crap your pants is the better answer than being a human and having like a gastro issue.
He should get sponsored by Pepto. That's what he should do.
Miami's heat, Imola's heritage, Monaco's glittering streets. Each stage brought its own drama. Piastri struck in America, Verstappen fought back in Italy, and Norris claimed the jewel of Monte Carlo. May was a month of glamour, but beneath the champagne, the battle lines were drawn.
Predictions for Monaco.
It is a
Snooze fest.
Yeah, it's a procession.
Sounds like it might rain during qualifying. There's a slight chance, but it looks like there's sun during the race. So there you have it.
Yeah, wherever they qualify is where they finish unless somebody wrecks, and that's pretty much it. Or Ocon tries to take them all out again. One or the other.
I'm going to predict Lance Stroll is not going to win.
Oh, I was going to say. Hold on, I'm going to do the great Karnak for a minute. And Lewis Hamilton, 8th place.
No, I think Lewis Hamilton is going to get 6th place.
Please.
I think Alonso is going to win.
No, Alonso's too busy just being a jerk. Like, does he want everybody to hate him? I read these articles about Alonso, and he's just like, I don't get it. Like, if you're done with Formula One, retire.
He's not done with this.
Oh, is that what it is? He's not done with the money, the Benjamins.
No, of course not.
Okay. God, he drives me nuts, though. He's got such a chip on his shoulder. And I was hopeful there because the Imola race last weekend was one of the most exciting races we've seen so far, at least to a point. And it was like, oh, look, Alonso, he's up near the front. And then it was like, garbage, back of the pack. I realized he is there to tow Lance Stroll around. He is paid to be in front of Lance and just do lead follow while a race is happening. It's like a DE. It's ridiculous.
Not a bad gig, I guess.
Yeah.
Dude, I would be so pissed.
Depends how much money he's getting.
Go do something else. Go race WEC or IMSA.
But what else does he have to prove? He's won Le Mans. Hasn't he won an F1 championship?
Yeah, a couple of them.
So what else does he have to prove? Who gives a shit what you think?
Did he win Indy as well?
No, his car broke down.
Okay. So he doesn't
He was in the Hondas that kept breaking down, I think.
Well, then he should go do like the Nürburgring 24 or something different.
I think he's going to go do whatever the hell he wants, and he doesn't care what any of us think. He's got his money. He's got his championships in 2 different motorsports. He's fine. Go run Dakar. Go Valentino Rossi and go to motorcycles. Go the other way.
I'm not sure that transition works as well.
It does not. It's a very different discipline.
That's when like Hakkinen went to go do rally, and he is apparently the only Finnish person without rally genes in his DNA, and he was absolutely terrible at it.
Does he have NASCAR genes instead?
Oh, like Kimmy? Yeah, no. All All right, so continuing the saga of the Tifosi and Ferrari and Lewis and all this happy horse hockey. Miami is a terrible track.
It's a terrible event. Yeah, why it's a waste of time.
Terrible track. It sucks. But there was a moment of just absolute radio glory. It was the funniest thing. So Tanya, do you remember? It was like after all the rain debacle and whether it was going to rain, whether it was going to rain, there was all that stuff at the beginning. So it was a little bit exciting. And then once there was no more call for rain, it got super boring and everybody just kind of fell into place, much like with some of the other tracks. There was that moment though where Lewis is fighting with Leclerc over the radio because one is arguing that the other one is holding them up and the team orders and the team wasn't giving him the point by, let him through, right?
Yes.
So Brad, did you see this race?
No, but I think I saw clips of what you're talking about.
So Leclerc at some point is like, all right, give me back the position, blah, 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 blah. So he's got to let Leclerc through and Hamilton didn't really want to, although he made a big stink about having better tires and he really didn't gain anything by being in front of Leclerc. It's like, because the Ferraris are like, I don't know, they're just dog shit. They must be 4 cylinders while everybody else is 6 because they can't get out of their own way. To that end, he lets Leclerc through, and then his engineer's like on the radio, and he's like, Sainz 1.6, Sainz 1 point whatever, Sainz. It's like Sainz is behind him. And then Lewis is like, do you want me to let him through too? And I just died. That is the funniest thing I've heard in Formula One in like forever. And apparently it like went over like a lead balloon, right? As it should. But I was like, I was not expecting that from Hamilton, for him to like sort of bite back and be like, hey, you want to let Sainz pass too?
He's very frustrated.
Was this the same race where he said, like you just go have a tea or something like that?
Yes, yeah, that was later because he's like the strategy was complete bunk, and he's like these guys don't know what they're doing, and it's an absolute mess. And obviously he's comparing them to many years of being with Mercedes. That race in Miami was boring. The second half was whatever. Other than that, it was boring.
It seems like over the last couple of years, Ferrari has just not been able to figure out a strategy that works.
So why did he go to Ferrari? It was stupid. Oh, it's about that. It's about that again. It's about the tariffs. I got it.
Again, how many championships does he have? What does he actually have to prove? I don't care what he says in public facing,
Yeah.
but what does he actually have to prove? Absolutely not a
He's
goddamn
collecting
thing.
a paycheck.
Yes, exactly.
Like I've been saying. So Imola, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, that was a good race. That was exciting. Lots of interesting stuff's happening. Suddenly the Red Bull is fast again. The McLarens, they want to take each other out. I think Lando is kind of playing dirty. Just let Piastri do his thing. He's faster than you. Get out of the way. It's all these games there too. But I think Leclerc, you really got to see some of his true colors come through at that race. He got angry and he was driving in anger. And I think it was hilarious. And there was that moment there on the radio too, where he's like, is this what racing has become? Right? Where it's all BS team politics and they can't just race anymore because we have to go to plan Delta. We have to go to plan this and that and blah, 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 and all this shit. It's like, just let them drive. Just let them drive. Stop screwing around with tires and pit stop nonsense. Build a better mousetrap, go out and race the hell out of them, and let's see who wins. But Tanya, you kept talking about turbo mushrooms during that race.
The Ferrari cars have a problem, and it'll be interesting whatever that problem is ever unearthed, because they are incredibly slow and sluggish. They barely can pass each other. They can't keep up with the frickin' Williams with DRS wide open. They can't make a pass. Everything is super slow. But then there's moments where it's like he got the turbo mushroom in Mario Kart, and suddenly like he's raking people in and like the lap times are coming down, and it's like, holy crap, here we go, let's go. And then suddenly it's like do 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 do, and the mushroom ran out and it's back to big turd. They can't get him out its own way and accelerate. Like, what is wrong?
That or the Geritol wore off, one or the other.
Even Leclerc's car is the same thing.
Yeah. Personally, watching some of that video of the in-car, when they're running for top speed, even with DRS open, they're like in 8th gear, foot to the floor, and the thing just hangs there at like 6,000 RPM in the wrong part of the rev range, and it won't pull. And I turned to Tanya as we were watching, I said, I think the Ferrari needs to redesign their transmission. I think the gearing is wrong. And that's keeping those cars behind. If they could shorten up their gear pack a little bit, 6th, 7th, and 8th gear, maybe they could get back some of the speed that they're missing. But if you're sitting there in 8th gear at 6,000 RPM doing 190 miles an hour and it won't pull. What is it geared for? 300? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Those stupid engines turn like 14,000 RPM. You're barely in the power zone at that point. You might as well just leave it in seventh, So I think their gearing is maybe what's killing them. And then we're going to hear excuses about the floor design and this and that and the wing here and the wing there. I think it's the transmission. I think that's the Achilles heel of the Ferrari.
And we heard Hamilton, I think it was even in the last race, keeps complaining about the brakes. The brakes are very different. The design is different than what he's used to from Mercedes. He mentioned before that he's never had to engine brake one of the cars before, and he's having to learn how to do that here. And it's okay. So maybe wanted to chalk it up to he's caressing the violin, singing a song, complaining. But at this last race, Leclerc, through qualifying and like practice, was bemoaning the brakes. Like, my God, my God, my God. Apparently they were like behaving. So I don't know what their technology with their brakes is, but
They're electric.
They would behave one way in a certain time, and then suddenly they were behaving differently at another time. And it's like, if your brakes don't work, if they're not carrying the right speed or decreasing the speed in the zones and having the right power to come out, and if they have a sluggish motor, the transmission is not geared correctly, I mean, they're losing time everywhere.
Yeah.
They can't get out of their own way.
It's horrible.
I mean, Leclerc is not a bad driver. He's fighting. And we could say that Lewis Hamilton's not a bad driver either, right? And he's doing crap. But then you see them when they're side by side with the other cars, and it's like the disparity is kind of evident. They are not competitive against the Red Bull or the McLaren. We'll see how it changes.
What race number is this? Like 10?
I don't know that there's been that many.
But my prediction has held true. By the third race, he wasn't going to do any better than where he's at.
But if the car is a problem, then it's not fair either.
Because where are the Mercedes?
They're at the front.
Doing better.
Antonelli started like second at Imola. It was insane. You guys told me the Mercedes is inferior. They don't know how to build a car, blah, blah, blah. And now they're like kicking butt.
I don't think anybody said that.
The Mercedes, as last year's season, so Mercedes fell off and they were wildly uncompetitive. You talk about how Ferrari can't accelerate and get out of its own way. It was pathetic, the Mercedes. As the season last year wound down, their improvements, you could see they were doing better. The Mercedes was becoming more competitive. So whatever they've done coming into this year, yes, they have a more competitive car. So maybe had he stayed with Mercedes, it'd be a whole other story right now.
Because Russell's doing great. Antonelli's doing great. Guess we'll see. Too bad. Super disappointed in Ferrari this year. But I'm going to tough it out. I promise you guys, we're going to ride to the end.
That would have been the last 5 years as well. So, I mean...
And you wonder why I don't watch? I'm telling you guys, spend a year following IMSA and WEC, and you will see much better racing than the garbage that Formula One is putting out. And now we're going to bring Mickey Mouse into the equation. Now there's partnerships with Disney. Once I read that, I was like, thank God this is the only year I can go back to watching real racing and not this trash.
He acts like somebody put a gun to his head.
I'm doing it for you guys. You called me out. You said I didn't know.
We told you to watch Drive to Survive.
Yeah, you're not a real fan unless you watch Drive to Survive.
Well, let's correct that. Emmy award-winning Drive to Survive. Let me puke a little bit.
Netflix is Emmy award winning.
Yeah. It's like giving yourself your own. Yeah, it's such garbage. Whatever. No, thank you. There is no reason to watch Drive to Survive if you watch the races. I mean, I'm just going to flat out say that.
But you don't get all the drama.
You know what's going to have a bunch of drama in it? This Brad Pitt movie. Are we going to go see it?
I mean, eventually I will see it.
When it's at the bargain bin, free 99 on your streaming service?
Preferably, but I guess I could spend money on it. I think I have a gift card.
Wow. I'll use someone else's money to watch this terrible movie. Third one of the night. Brad Pitt movie, or completely unrelated but car adjacent, the Paul Walker story. Which would you watch?
I need more information. Is it any Brad Pitt movie or?
The Brad Pitt Formula One movie is what I'm referring to.
So Driven 2 or the Paul Walker story?
Yeah.
I would rather sit there and watch Sesame Street with my kids for 2 hours.
Again, you're going to be able to watch Disney with F1 soon enough. So that's the future. That's the future.
That means ESPN's owned by Disney too. So
yeah. 100%.
Wait, is that what the partnership is? That like you'll be able to stream Formula One on Disney?
All I saw were pictures of Mickey Mouse with a Formula One car, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm out.
No, I'm not out, because if you're regular streaming Disney Plus, if you've got a subscription to it, now you can watch Formula One without paying
Another subscription to the F1 channel.
Can we rename the F1 drivers with Cars characters?
Oh man, that'd be so funny.
The winner of this year's championship becomes Lightning McQueen.
Mm.
And then we've got the other guys. I don't remember their names.
Oh, is there going to be a Pixar Cars, but F1?
There was an F1 car. He was Italian in Cars too.
Yes.
I just don't see F1 TV giving up the goat to Disney, giving them
No,
the
I don't think
rights.
that's what this is. They're trying to appeal to the very younger crowd by like partnering to have the mascots. But then I would question, do young kids even watch Mickey Mouse?
Henry likes it.
Is this still on? Okay.
Maybe it's the other way. Formula One is trying to bring Disney up to its level, not the other way around.
Are they going to move the Miami race to Orlando?
It'll be on an oval and it'll be run by Indy cars.
Oh, wait.
Wait, they already do that.
Go 45 minutes east and just run it at Daytona.
Well, I guess we'll have to report on the developments of this as they come to light in the upcoming months.
Yes.
Spain fell to Piastri, but Canada belonged to George Russell, a defiant reminder that Mercedes had not faded. Austria returned Norris to the top step. June was a carousel of champions, each victory reshaping the narrative of the year.
All right, Ferrari three-peats at Le Mans. How come Ferrari Formula One can't build a car that's worth a damn? I'm just going to lay it out there.
F1 is getting very, very boring,
You don't say.
especially watching Monaco. That's just a joke. Charles Leclerc, however you want to pronounce his name, Charles, whatever, he'll never be anything.
Other than angry.
Yes, I'm angry little Frenchman. I'm sorry, Manganese or however you pronounce that.
Monegas.
I think Lewis Hamilton's past his prime. New regulations come in next year, and it's either hit or miss, because then you're always chasing it. But it's whoever can nail it right out of the thing is going to win. I mean, look what Mercedes did. And all of a sudden now it's Red Bull came in to do it. Now all of a sudden it's McLaren. McLaren just got it, refined it, and nailed down the little things to it. But now all of a sudden next year it's completely new regulations. You know, I always look at both sides and say, well, you know, if you look at qualifying that, it's either no more than second or second and a half between lap times. And everyone's always in 10-10, this and that. But then you watch the race and everything spreads out and just why they can't get their shit together. And I just can't believe they would get rid of Astor that quickly.
Yeah.
And put it all on him. Come on. Whoever nixed the idea of bringing Newey and not just, oh, here's the checkbook, Adrian, how much you want, whatever you need, get it. Why they didn't sign him, I don't know. Someone's ego got in the way. They didn't want to have him there. And I don't know if it was Vastor or whoever it was, but that was a huge F up on their part for not getting Adrian Newey. Huge. Especially next year, Aston Martin comes out and starts just crushing it. Heads will roll because that'll just prove the point. I mean, as we all know, Adrian Newey's just, he's the man. That's that. And they'll have Honda engines, so they'll have the power. How they can still call themselves Aston Martin is beyond me. I mean,
So, Tanya, you have this meme here.
Well, it's not a meme, it's a quote.
Who's saying this?
Fred Vasseur, apparently.
And who is he referring to? Himself?
I don't know who the one thing is. Is it the car at this point? The motor?
Why don't you read it for our audience? Because they're not looking at this.
Fred Vasseur is quoted as saying, "We must ask ourselves the right questions if Ferrari hasn't won for years. We've changed the team principal, the drivers, we've changed everything except one thing."
Is that his resignation? Like, what is that?
Well, he's the principal that's changed, so they've already done that. I don't know. Is it higher ups in Ferrari?
I think he's talking about their mentality, I would think. But I mean, obviously there's more than that needs to change. But the problem with Ferraris, they're so bureaucratic in regards to how they run everything internally. It's horrendous.
How is the Le Mans team? How are the 499P guys getting away with it? They built a killer car 3 years in a row.
You said it already. They're not a factory team. They're a privateer.
Mm.
And if they poach the guy that's running that now and put him in charge and get rid of Vasseur and put him in, then okay, then there goes your Le Mans team. They're done.
Yeah.
If they're trying to say that's the case.
Then they both suck.
Yeah. Then they're both bad.
That's why I said Ferrari has to leave Le Mans after this year. They need to stop and go out on a high, 3 in a row, wait another 52 years to come back and just call it a day.
I feel like that's cowardly lion. They can't do that. If Ford's coming in next year, they've got to go against Ford. They have to.
We need a new movie. Ford vs. Ferrari, part 2.
Part 2. It'll be like Hot Shots.
Dardu. Yeah.
Part 2.
Hot Shots Part 2. It's awesome.
The second one.
As long as it doesn't end up like Highlander Part 2. Never mind.
Like The Naked Gun 2.5 or whatever it
Oh,
was.
there is a new Naked Gun coming out. Let's not go there.
Yeah, right.
Oh, sweet.
Don't search for that on the internet, kids. So Let's talk about Monaco just a little bit longer, although it doesn't need any more airtime than it's already gotten.
The drivers hate the race.
The fans hate the race.
Why are they still racing there? Other than that, quote, it's Monaco. And who gives a crap?
What's that musical? Tradition! Tradition!
Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't even think it's got anything to do with tradition. I think it's money.
Oh yeah, now moving the date too. They changed it all up. Not going to be on Memorial Weekend anymore. Yeah, it's just a cash grab. I mean, that's what it boils down to. You know, using that excuse, oh, it's tradition. Oh, yeah. Tanya said everyone hates it there. Drivers hate it. Teams hate it. The cars are too big. There's no passing. There's nothing.
And they tried to make it more interesting by forcing additional pit stops, and it did nothing.
Yeah.
It did absolutely nothing. It did not change the
It made it
order of
worse.
anything.
That should have been a no pit stop race. Just get it
And
done.
there should have been black flags for people. They were just worse than parade lapping and
So
holding
bad.
people up. Like, get out of the way.
I think for Monaco, I think they should, like Eric said, no pit stops and then remove all FIA regulations. Just let them go. Just the Mad Max race.
That would be
Thunderdome.
awesome.
And every 10 laps, they got to switch cars with their teammate. They got to jump in each other's car.
That would make it way better. Be like Formula E in the old days. Got to
Yeah.
switch cars.
Yeah.
And they should start a reverse grid.
There we go.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And then maybe every 20 laps, the drivers get out and fight. They get out into a fist fight.
If they did reverse grid, that might be the only opportunity Lance Stroll will ever win a race.
Lance Scroll.
Lance Scroll.
If they would have reverse gridded Monaco, Antonelli would have been first.
That's true. Haas could get a win if they reverse grid. It'd be amazing.
They still wouldn't get a win.
I'm impressed with Haas this year. I have to say, like, they're kind of middle of the pack. There's no reason to really make fun of them anymore. And there's other teams where you're like, all right, Sauber's just there waiting for Audi to take over. And Aston Martin's pathetic. And Williams is sort of, again, fighting in the middle. So I can't really say too much. But the ones I poke the most fun at is Ferrari. And it's heartbreaking. Every race is pathetic. I don't understand. They're dog shit slow. That's all I can say. I don't understand. Like DRS, wide open, drafting somebody, and you still can't get around
Which
them.
race was it? Catalunya? I don't remember, but I know you didn't believe me for the longest time when I said the Ferraris are slow. There is a problem with them. And then you saw it when it was like Hamilton versus Leclerc and the DRS open. Leclerc couldn't pass Hamilton with the DRS open. What are you talking about? And then you see like whoever the hell else Haas with their DRS open and they like shoot by somebody. It's like, what is that? It's an air brake instead of like a speed up.
It was team orders.
Yeah, to get on the radio. Let him by. Why?
You know why? Because you end up like Lando in Canada. That's why. What a knucklehead. Like, what was he thinking?
That guy is his own worst enemy and he chokes. He chokes.
What a knucklehead.
Yeah.
Where do you think you were going?
Yeah.
That was a iRacing move. Like he was suddenly going to have traction and space on an island that is the size of Brad's shoe.
Well, he must have thought Piastri was just going to move over for him because Piastri held his line. He didn't move to the left. He didn't pinch him off. He was in a position and he held that position. And then he thought he was just going to fit in half the size of a Formula One car.
Maybe he thought he was going to pull that. What's that guy did the NASCAR move where he just pinned it against the wall and just pinned it and went around. He figured he'd slam the wall and go.
No, like the Cars movie where he bounces up and then he flips over and lands on the other side. Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, there we go.
Fantastic. Some James Bond stuff. Canada was boring just like Monaco because it's too small, it's too tight, it's just one car width wide. I mean, it's just that's another one that it's tradition. They run Canada because they have to have a Grand Prix in Canada, I guess.
Well, I thought they were getting away from that track. I thought they were supposed to go
where, to Mosport?
I thought they were moving away from the island for that reason, because one, boring racing, two, accessibility, because it's a nightmare in regards to there's only those two ways or one way to get on and off that island.
Well, and you got to get bussed on.
You can't park there. There's no grandstands.
Well, there are grandstands. Stop saying that. You saw them.
Compared to Coda, there's like no grandstands. There's like nothing. There might as well be 3 chairs and 10 people like playing, musical chairs.
I always thought they were moving it to downtown or something like that. They're going to do
that'd be even worse. We went to Montreal a couple years ago. The streets downtown.
Oh, they're horrendous.
It might as well be Jeep Wranglers racing, not Formula cars.
Well, Well, not even that, but Montreal is very grid laid out. Plus, city courses are all terrible.
Yeah, they're all awful.
Look at Monaco.
They should move it to Toronto and drive around the Sky Dome parking lot.
Oh, that's like what they're trying to do for IndyCar, right? And down in Texas or whatever, down in Dallas,
Yeah.
around the stadium. But then that ends up like Miami, right? And then you're like,
Yeah,
that
that's
track
horrible.
sucks too. Now, I will say I have a newfound appreciation for Catalunya. That was actually a decent race. The Spanish Grand Prix was pretty good. The outcome was nothing short of to be expected. So I was like, all right, whatever. But again, Ferrari can't get out of their own way
Hey, that's the first race they podiumed.
by luck.
How many cars were
Yeah.
DNF'd?
Yeah, disqualified. Exactly.
You know,
Three.
were there 18 cars DNF'd?
And nothing's going to change now for the remainder of the season because no one's doing anything more with their cars this year. It's all going to 2026. There might be one or two changes here and they're very minimal, but so nothing's really going to change in the order. Piastri's going to be world champion.
The Spanish GP was exciting because we hadn't seen it for a while. We got to see Verstappen's true colors once again.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, man, that was good.
'Cause I wanted him to get somehow, some way, so he got that last point on his license, so he get banned for the next race, get suspended. That'd been awesome.
It's astonishing that at the very least he wasn't DQ'd from that race.
Yeah.
Collusion.
I mean, he pretty much was on the radio saying, I'll show him, and then purposely tried to punt him off the track.
I have said it before. You can take the racer out of the cart, but you can't take the kart racer out of the boy. He drives like a kart
No.
racer.
No, that was not a kart racing move at all. That was an aggressive, vindictive move.
iRacing move.
Premeditated because he had all the space in the world not to do that.
I agree with all of those things.
And that sends a bad message to people that are watching.
So you think Red Bull will pay him $100 million next season to stay? That's the only thing that would keep him there is cash.
Rumor is he wants to leave.
Saw that too, but
I don't know. Then there's rumors he's gonna go to Aston, or he's gonna go to Mercedes, or he's gonna go here, he's gonna go there. Really? I don't know. He's gonna go to Aston because Adrian's there.
That's the only reason.
Is he going to be the second driver to Lance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who do you get rid of? Let's play this game. Who do you get rid of? Stroll or Alonso?
Who does Daddy Warbucks fire?
Well, Alonso's 62 years old, so he needs to retire.
But he's a better driver than Stroll.
well, but Lance can't go do tennis now because of his wrist, so he's stuck in F1.
Yeah.
Oh, poor baby.
and the worst part is, and I've said this by watching the race, Alonso, they like give him a little taste of like being at the front again in the excitement of the old days, and then it's like, Fernando, get back in line and start towing Lance around. Because that's what he's paid to do. He has Lance on his ass the whole time, cutting through traffic and just tows Lance around. That's what he's paid to do. I wouldn't want that job. And if I was Verstappen, I wouldn't want that job either, regardless of Adrian Newey. No, because that's what you're signing up to do, is tow that guy around.
If I was making the money that they're making, I would tow Lance Stroll wherever the fuck he wanted to go for his entire life. I don't even care. You want to tow to McDonald's? Let's go.
Yeah,
You want to tow to Starbucks? You want me to tow you through the Starbucks drive-through?
No. You
Let's
want
do
to tow
it.
to Timmy's, Tim Hortons?
Oh yeah, you want to tow to the Hortons?
Yeah.
Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Official sponsor of the F1 movie is KFC. You're going to tow him to get some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh hell yeah! I can tow you to KFC.
You seen those commercials?
Is
They're
it
so
KFC? I thought it was
stupid.
Taco Bell. Is
No,
it
it's KFC. Well, it's the same company anyway. KFC, Taco Bell, McDonald's, whatever.
It's all Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so speaking of the movie, is anyone here going to pay to go see it in the theater? They're going to wait till it comes out on Apple.
I have small children. I will not be paying to go see anything.
Oh, it's coming out on Apple? Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Why don't
that's
have
you did it.
Apple?
Yeah. So 4 weeks after it's released, it'll come out on Apple. It should be, or 6 weeks.
I'll get it on Vudu.
Yeah, I just canceled my Apple TV, so yeah, I won't be watching it for another year.
I mean, I think I have a gift card to AMC.
God. God. Well, you're going to do an episode about it if you go see it. I know you're going to go see it, William. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to go see it. Well, we got this great new theater that opened up that's got the reclining seats and everything, like that, and tickets are only like $11, dirt
What?
cheap instead of like the 20 something. Yeah, it's awesome. It's Phoenix Theaters, new first one in this area, I guess, or something, or they're starting. I don't know, but yeah, it's $10.79 or something like that. That's not just matinee. That's like anytime. It's
Wow.
like at night you can go. It's like me, my wife, and daughter went the other night, saw a movie. All three of us. Tickets were only $32 for all three of us.
Do you have to make your own popcorn in the back?
Well, I mean, I was smuggling my own candy, of course, and my Diet Mountain Dews.
Do you got to stand there and run the reel.
Yeah, well, it's good exercise.
That's why his one arm's bigger than the other.
Yeah. All you have to do is clean up and vacuum after the movie. That's all.
There you go.
And put on a vest and just clean up.
You got to sell concessions to the next movie, the next time slot too.
It's all give and take.
Yeah.
So, Tanya, you mentioned to me the other day that there are proposed wing changes that means that the Ferraris are going to be even slower. Is that right?
They're just going to remove 4 bolts.
Yeah, there you go. That was a headline that was floating out there, but I think in the end, it does all have to do with the crackdown on the front wing deflection.
Okay.
But I think they ended up changing more of the front wing design as a result of that. And so I think it went into effect ahead of Canada. So I don't know that it necessarily negatively impacted them because they were as slow as normal.
They didn't get any slower. That's a plus.
But that's a slow track, too.
McLaren didn't change anything. From my understanding, they didn't change nothing. Everyone else had to change or they changed it. So then that's why they're trying to file protest, something like that. I said, no, it's within line. I mean, I don't know who the biggest culprit was of that flexi wing.
Adrian Newey.
I'd love to see his office and just seeing him going to town on the big drafting table, still using the mechanical pencil and everything. That'd be unbelievable to see.
No, it's like that episode of The Office where he walks in and he shuts the door and he closes the blinds and he sits down and he starts crying at his desk. That's what Adrian is doing at Aston right now.
What'd I do?
That's what he's doing.
Silverstone erupted as Norris triumphed before his home crowd. Belgium swung back to Piastri. Hungary tilted again to Norris. And in Zandvoort, Piastri silenced Verstappen on Dutch soil. The summer sun burned hot, but the title fight burned hotter still.
Since you're here, William, but I've got to ask because we joked, we made fun of your $10 movie theater. Did you go see the F1 movie?
Hell yes. It's awesome.
Is it?
I think it was a fantastic movie. I thought it was really good. And again, though, I can't stress, and I said it's like with Ford versus Ferrari and stuff, this is for entertainment. It's not trying to nail it down, but they did a hell of a job capturing like the speed, the sound, everything. I mean, some of the shots that they got were unbelievable because, I mean, you saw when they were filming how immersed they were with actual F1 after races and everything like that. Obviously, you can clearly tell lots of CGI stuff, this and that, like, oh, that'll never happen. So there's a lot of stuff you go like, ugh. But you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's pure entertainment purposes.
Most of the racing footage was literally real racing footage that they went and CGI'd and changed the colors of the cars so there wasn't, an Alpine or a Red Bull and stuff like that.
Well, the one cool thing is they go back to in the 80s when he like got into it. They use Martin Donnelly's actual crash video and footage of him crashing, lying in the middle of the track, the whole 9 yards. So it's like that. Wow. It's the actual video of it. So they use some real stuff in it. They kind of CGI'd to make, so it was him in the car driving that Lotus, but they use a lot of old footage from back then, kind of having flashbacks and kind of how like he was supposed to be the next big thing. And it's kind of based. Martin Donnelly never got back into an F1 car.
No spoilers.
All right, so let me ask this. Again, Brad Pitt, blah blah blah. It's like Tom Cruise and the rest of them. And you talk about the CGI and all this cool stuff. In my mind, I think that the storyline, the plot, the acting, the writing,
it's crap.
Okay, so it's like Gran Turismo then, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on. You go look at the thing, go, this would never happen. It's a complete joke. Oh, come on. This guy, you're trying to do the math in your head. Okay, if he was even 18 or 19 when they're saying he would have to be in the 80s when he raced, and then what the years now would be, he'd be in his 60s. It would never, ever freaking happen.
It's Alonso. It's just the story of Alonso.
That's Brad Pitt, all right, he's made some good movies, but I mean, every movie he's in, he's the same demeanor, it's just plug and play and doing it how he acts. But I enjoyed it. I think it's definitely worth it to go see it. We didn't stay for it, but we actually went to the drive-in the other night, and it was the second movie. We went and saw Superman, and it was supposed to be the second one, but I was like, yeah, I don't feel like staying. That's when I'll wait till it comes back out on Apple TV, and I'll watch it, on my TV again. But I thought it was good.
Speaking of Apple TV, I heard that Apple is bidding for Formula One coverage for next year.
They got it.
Did they really?
No, I thought Disney did.
What is the deal with Disney and Formula One?
Everyone's trying to get on the bandwagon, and depending on how long they buy the rights for to do it, if they buy it for any more than 5 years, they're going to be effed. Because I guarantee in 5 years, the popularity here in the States is going to start waning big time. It's going to do that NASCAR thing where NASCAR was boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Same thing's going to happen here with F1 because everyone's going to just like, nah, it's the same
To your point,
weekend.
we heard a lot of that when we were at Le Mans Classic and we were talking to other people about other racing disciplines. And, people were surprised that 200,000 people showing for a vintage event is just ridiculous numbers. But you heard the same thing from a lot of people. I'm really tired of Formula One. The racing's really boring. The drama is really fake, blah, blah, the same thing. And I know I've been saying this, hearing it from other people unsolicited, you're sort of like, well, I guess I'm not alone on Survivor Island. Okay, first of all, Formula One TV has always been boring. I mean, it just doesn't matter what era you pick. Kind of like you've always said, you watch the beginning, you snooze in the middle, you watch the end, and it's over. But now it's, to me, more spec racing than it's ever been. At least during the Senna days and Schumacher, the cars were sort of different. Especially during the Senna days, you had the flat 12 Ferraris and the V8 Judds and, the turbo this and the that. And so it was a mixed bag of stuff. And then the V10 era was obviously amazing. But now, I don't know, it's just hard. And I think the whole COVID's over for a long time now. People have gone back to, let's say, quote unquote, normal. And Formula One doesn't have the same draw because we're not all stuck at home with nothing else to watch.
I agree. I mean, that's why I said, the shine will come off of that diamond or whatever you want to call it.
It'll be Shinola when it's done.
Yeah. I mean, especially like the Vegas race to Miami race. I'll be amazed if that Miami race lasts another 3 or 4 seasons because it's just crap. Austin's always going to be there because you're going to have that one. Austin, great tracker like that. But and then Vegas too. I think it's just costing.
I'd rather watch the WEC race at Austin than the Formula One race at Austin.
I agree with you on that 1,000%. So yeah, I mean, and the obscene amount of money that either Disney or Apple, whoever ends with, is going to have to pay. I mean, Liberty Media is just cashing in, and it would not surprise me within the next 5 years, Liberty Media ends up selling up to the oil-rich nations of Saudi Arabia, one of those UAE funds, whatever, and just walks away making their billions and billions of dollars because it's at that point. Saturation, 24 races. I mean, that's just too many. I mean, and it's total cash grab.
To close out this thought on Formula One as we sort of wrap out this impromptu motorsports news, I got to give props to Hulkenberg. It's taken him like 25 years to podium.
I'm sad to miss that race because that actually looked like it was a really good race at Silverstone. I watched the highlights.
That's why they always wish for rain at every race because it evens things out and make everything interesting. When it's rain, I'll watch the whole race. I'm like, okay, this will be interesting. I'll watch the whole thing if it rains.
Monza's Temple of Speed bowed to Verstappen. Baku's streets echoed his dominance once more. September was Red Bull's resurgence, a reminder that the reigning champion would not surrender easily.
Well, we don't often have motorcycle news, but we do have motorcycle news. And I think this one would shock you guys. We're probably not sad to see him leave Formula One, but all I'm going to say is that it's going to make MotoGP super interesting now that Gunther Steiner is a team principal.
Is he? Of what?
Yes! And he owns a MotoGP team now or whatever.
It's going to make Ride to Survive season 1 really interesting.
I didn't know Gene Haas bought a motorcycle team.
God. Fucking Gene Haas.
Can you imagine? I mean, maybe it's the right place for Gunther. I don't know.
Good luck to him.
Going into next year, he's going to be at the head of Tech 3 Racing MotoGP team. Full ownership.
It'll be backmarker team.
So in order for him to get the job as team principal, he had to buy the team.
I mean, if you ain't first, you're last, right? Well, on that note, because I know this is big news for you, I wanted the biggest things for you. And I thought this is just so important. Here it is. Get ready. Get your Kleenex out. Daniel Ricciardo confirms retirement from motor racing. This is why I put this first and foremost. Retirement from motor racing, period, full stop. There are no disciplines. Just no more. Done. Are you sad? Are you heartbroken?
I don't care.
What? You've always cared about Ricciardo.
I mean, it's not like he died or anything. He's just not going to be racing anymore. He's still got his brand, Enchanté.
What's that translate to? I'll pass?
Yeah, I signed up for the newsletter and I kept getting like product information and stuff, and it's all not my style.
What do you think that says about him?
What do you think it says about Alonso? It should be making the same statement.
And according to you, Hamilton too.
There's truth in that statement as well.
I mean, Daniel's getting up there in age.
I don't think age has anything to do with it, though. I think he just lost his passion for it.
So he lost his passion for all racing then?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can relate. I feel like I've kind of lost my passion for track driving. Like the last couple of times I went and did it, I didn't really have any fun. I broke the car. I didn't really get to go out on track much. I mean, when I say that the pumpkin spice latte is probably not going to see the track. It's probably a fair statement.
No, it's going to see it when you pull up and you park.
It's going to see it when I go to an IMSA race or professional race or something, but it probably won't touch a track, maybe parade laps.
Before we move on, we need to discuss endurance racing a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
Because Franz Herman,
Oh,
aka Max Verstappen, he participated recently in a Nürburgring 4-hour endurance race in order to qualify for his GT3 license so that he can this weekend participate in a Nordschleife endurance race. And let's just talk about how he did. In that permit race, he was in a Cayman 718 GT4 car is what he drove. However, they detuned him because of his quote rookie standing. They detuned him 130 horsepower.
Holy cow.
And added weight. He finished in his class 7th. He finished overall of, I think, 114 cars, 27th.
Wow.
That's seemingly impressive.
So if they hadn't basically neutered the car, he would have came in first and probably higher up.
I'm
the chain.
wondering. So it'll be very interesting to see how he does this weekend in a non-detuned car, which he'll be driving a Ferrari this weekend.
All the cars that are available in iRacing. I get it.
That's a premonition.
Which, funnily enough, his co-driver is someone who's coming up through sim racing. He's got like his own league academy thing that he's doing. So his co-driver is going to be some sim racer dude. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes.
We'll put a pin in that for a minute because we're going to come back and talk about Max. I don't want to talk about every race that's happened over the last 2 months because it's just too much, right? So I just want to say Belgium was a nightmare. The race was delayed for over an hour. It was just want. The whole thing was want. And that was just an annoying race to sit through. Budapest, what an amazing race between two people, the McLarens. Watching their team strategy is mind-boggling. I don't understand what's going on over there. Can we just let Oscar score points so that Max doesn't? What is this BS between Lando and Oscar? Like, it just needs to stop. They're already going to win the Manufacturers' Championship for crying out loud. Like, Red Bull doesn't stand a chance there, at least. Bunch of other blah, 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 blah races in between. So let's fast forward to Azerbaijan. Max power, right? We are going full bore, and I'm reading stuff about how people are saying that Max is now stacking the end part of the season to try to win the remaining races and take the championship away from the McLaren drivers, full stop. It's been done before, and apparently if he wins every race from here on out, the math works out. Do we think it's going to happen? What's the over-under on this?
If they've sorted that car out, then yes, it's probably possible.
I don't have any love for any of the F1 teams, really. Go Cadillac.
We're going to get to that.
Go Audi.
We'll get to that too. You know, I'm not a tifoso. My heart breaks for Ferrari, and kind of secretly, I want McLaren to win, but then I don't want McLaren to win because I don't like the BS that they do amongst their own team. I'm kind of like rooting for Mercedes to kind of like come through as the underdog and just take all of it home, but that's not going to happen either. So I can't put my focus on any one team because they kind of all suck. You know what I mean?
Steak.
Yeah, steak. Yeah. Hulkenberg's going to take it all home. Any rate, Max Verstappen, champion this year. Do you think it's going to happen?
He won every single race but one last year. He had a 14-second lead. I think 14, 15 seconds he ended.
At Azerbaijan, yeah.
And he started slowing down because that gap was bigger. And I think he just wasn't pushing anymore because there's no reason George Russell wasn't catching up.
Even after the pit stop.
Let's be real.
Like, yeah,
let's be real for a second. They told him, you know what? Save the motor, save the car, cruise the last couple laps.
I mean, you could tell from the videos when they showed he's like short shifting and just cruising around, and you're like, wow. And you still can't catch him.
So if they've sorted out that car and it's back to levels that it was at last year,
it's over for McLaren.
Over.
Yeah.
It's over.
So this is what's going to make the rest of this Formula One season exciting, because so far it's been a bit of a dud, but now it's getting interesting to see how this is going to play out. And maybe it just comes down. I will argue there's 7 races left. I think we said, Tanya, it's too many. 24 races in the year. It's insane. It's like every 2 weeks basically, right? I mean, it's bonkers, but we'll see. I think it's going to be interesting. But on a side note, speaking of listeners checking in with us, I got a call from Alabama Jeff, one of our listeners, and he says to me, he goes, obviously you guys know more about this stuff than I do, in his southern drawl. He goes, I just got into F1 recently like everyone else, but he goes, wouldn't you say Verstappen is just one of the best drivers, hands down? And so I wanted to open that up to go back to what we were talking about with endurance, with this whole math game, him coming out and potentially winning the championship if everything goes in his favor. Do we think Verstappen is in a class like a Schumacher or a Senna or somebody like that? Is he that level of driver?
I think it's hard to answer that question. Is he a great driver? Is he an amazing driver? Yes. The reality is, I think some of it's the car.
Yeah, but you got to be able to pilot that car, and
You got to be able to pilot the car, yes. But because they're not all driving, it's hard to make these comparisons because they're not all driving the exact same car.
well, in Red Bull's case, rumor on the street is Sonoda's car is basically spec'd identical to Verstappen's car as almost like a backup to Verstappen's car, and it's reportedly undrivable. People used to say the same thing about Senna, where Senna's car was like, I don't know how the hell he drives this thing. You know what I mean? Is he at that level, or is it just he's got a particular driving style? What is it?
I mean, it could be.
I am changing my opinion of him, and I think it'll be very telling what he does in GT3, because if he's dominating there, then he's definitely
One of the best.
probably. I think he's matured a lot from the arrogant asshole he was when he first started out in Formula One.
I mean, he's a father now, right?
Technically now he's a father, yes, but he started maturing even before then. But maybe that's because he kind of had a step kid in Kelly's first daughter, Kelly PK. So maybe he was already changing there. He's very consistent. He's a very consistent driver, hitting the mark lap after lap after lap after
It's all
lap.
that iRacing.
And maybe it is. I mean, someone else who tends to be that consistent also is Piastri. So I'd really like to see him. If it comes down between him and Norris, I'd like to see him win the
Yeah.
world championship for sure, because I think he is probably the stronger driver. But I mean, Verstappen, he's definitely something. So it'll be interesting to see.
If he wins this year, and to your point, if he does something in sports car and endurance racing, let's say he gets a couple other championships of different disciplines under his belt, I think when we jump forward 10 years and look back, we're going to go Verstappen. He might not have 8 world titles in Formula One like Lewis was trying to get to, or like Schumacher had 7 and, all that. But I think we're going to regard him at a similar level as like a Jimmy Clark or a Senna or some of the greats, where we didn't recognize it at the time, but now when we look back, we're going to be like, holy heck.
His contract, I think, goes till 2028. So if he wins this and he wins the next 3 seasons, he would have 8 world championships.
He would, but he also, to me, he needs to win Le Mans, because a lot of those old-time Formula One champions, not Senna, but a lot of, the Andretti's, the whatevers, they went off and did other big races.
He's going to go do other things. He wants to do, all this GT3 stuff he's doing is because he wants to do the 24 hours of the Nürburgring.
Yeah.
Once you do that, I'm sure Le Mans probably isn't that far behind. Why wouldn't he?
24 hours of Le Mans carries more weight, on your resume than 24 hours of the ring does. No offense to the ring, because it's an awesome thing, but in the stratosphere, it's like the Indy 500, Monaco, and Le Mans are the big 3, right? They're the Triple Crown.
Which is funny because Le Mans gets all the attention, but the Nordschleife is 10,000 times more difficult.
It is, and it's also 10,000 more times difficult to televise.
Well, and that's why it doesn't get the hype it gets, but it's more impressive. Like if he won first time going to the basically Nürburgring kind of deal, and then he were to win the 24 hours, oh my God.
He wants to go there because the ring is available in iRacing and Le Mans is not. So that's why. That's what it's all about.
The other thing about him that I'm liking more is kind of paying a little bit more attention and learning more about him. He really does seem to enjoy all the racing and all the different kinds. I watched that one video where he made the negative comment about front wheel drive cars, but he was going out test driving the Mustang or all this stuff, and he got on track in this Mustang for the first time, and then it starts raining, and I mean he's got complete control of this monster whatever R blah 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 huge beast Mustang thing that he was driving, and it's he seems like he can maybe get into any car and learn it quickly.
Yeah, like Senna would do. Yeah, the same kind of thing. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I too am changing my opinion, although secretly, like you, I'm sort of rooting for Oscar, and then sadly I'm crying into my Cheerios because of Ferrari. I mean, what a pathetic.
Cars are terrible.
They're so bad. Everybody else is doing 215 with the DRS open, and Ferrari's 204, 204, maybe. And then it's the DRS opens, and then they go backwards 180 miles an hour, and it's it's awful. What a mess. God, Ferrari. I think they know how to build a Formula car. We mentioned Audi. We still don't know. Well, we do know, but I'm really disappointed with the driver choices, like with Audi. That's going to be a wash next year.
Did they say I don't remember who's the second
It's
driver.
Hulkenberg, and I don't know. Weren't they going to bring back Schumacher?
I don't think they announced the second driver yet. All we know is it's
I
Hulkenberg.
thought they did, and it was some other German or something like that, or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. My point is, we're going to go full mullet with Cadillac. We're bringing back Bottas. That's going to be awesome. Bottas with the bow tie. Come on. And then Perez. We're going to bring back Perez to run with Cat. What do we think about this team up?
Some people would say, like, oh, they should be putting the rookies in, blah, blah, blah. But, like, honestly, you have a brand new team. The quickest way to get up to speed is 2 veteran drivers. And who, other than, I guess, Alonso didn't want to move. So
Stroll's paying him too much.
So he's holding on for that Newey. He's waiting for that car from Newey.
Yeah.
So he's sticking there. People poo-poo on Bottas, but like he did well in Mercedes. And maybe you could argue maybe it was the car, or I don't know. He has a decent record. And I mean, Perez was fine when he was in the Red Bull for the most part. So they're 2 veteran seasoned drivers that know what's going on, and they can help bring the Cadillac team, who are all going to be rookies. They can help build that team out. And then eventually they'll get replaced, but we'll see how it goes.
To Tanya's point, like both of those drivers, even though they didn't win the championships, they came from championship winning teams.
Yeah.
Right.
Bottas was no slouch when he was at Alfa Romeo either. I mean, Sauber or whatever it was, right? So just to make sure I got my facts straight, Cadillac powered by Ferrari?
I think so, at least
Until they switch motors,
beginning.
right?
Yeah.
Man, how weird is that going to be?
They might want to rethink that.
Can they bolt a carburetor on it?
So
It's going to be a Testarossa.
Well, so here's the thing. A lot of the problems with the Ferrari, I don't know if they're the motor, because a lot of things that you can read, they blame, maybe this sounds silly. Also, it's not, because if they really have a bunch of problems with the braking system, if you're wasting time early braking and not going in with good entry and then exit speed, you're never going to hit the same top. You just neutered yourself every time you come out of a corner. And then if you're fighting the car, which allegedly is happening with Hamilton because his style of braking is not compatible with whatever the hell is going on with the Ferraris, if this is all true. Okay, allegedly. Then he's wasting so much time. He's constantly trying to countersteer the car because it's twitchy AF through every corner. And it's like, well, how can you be competitive then? You're inherently always slow. So maybe Cadillac stands a chance if Cadillac's doing aero, Cadillac's doing suspension, brake, all this stuff, and then they just have the power plant. Maybe the power plant's decent and the rest of the car is trash.
I feel as though Cadillac stands the same chance in its first year that Haas does.
If they're on the podium, god damn.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's going to be impressive. Then it's really going to be like, Ferrari, what the are you people doing? Because
Right?
clearly the motor's fine.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm excited for the rest of the season. I'm also excited for it to be over.
Singapore's night belonged to Russell, America's wide open plains to Verstappen, and Mexico's altitude to Norris. 3 continents, 3 victors. The pendulum swung wildly, and the championship remained unsettled.
See, I think it's all about reducing their lost leaders. See, it's all about the bean counters because they got to pay for Formula One. I just keep bringing this up. Volkswagen has to figure out how to pay for Audi to go to Formula One next year. So anywhere they can cut the fat, they're going to cut it.
So Volkswagen obviously hasn't heard the saying, how do you make a small fortune in racing? You start with a large fortune. They haven't heard that before because now they've got a small fortune and they're going racing.
At Dieselgate too, right? So we talked last month about how Volkswagen pulled the plug on the Lambo program in hypercar, right? For WEC and for IMSA. You said yourself, Brad, you were like, I didn't even know they had a Lambo running in the upper classes in endurance racing. Fine. Well, we pulled the plug on that. Well, guess what? Surprise, but maybe not a surprise because I said it from the beginning and people are like, no, you'll see. It's going to be the greatest comeback since the 962 and blah, 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 blah. This is Porsche's new Halo car and yada, yada, blah, 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 blah. The 963 is going to win Le Mans. 4 years later, it still hasn't won anything. Yes, okay, it got Constructors' Championship or whatever it is in IMSA. Fine, great, but it didn't win Le Mans. It didn't win anything of significance. So the factory, again, because I think they need to put their money to Formula One, is pulling the plug on the Porsche 963 hypercar. It is done as of Petit Le Mans. That's it. That was its final race.
Do you think they would have continued on with it had it been more successful?
I think Porsche's got this 3-strike strategy. They either win 3 times and stop or they lose 3 times and stop. I think that's what it is. But the 963 was kind of a loser from the beginning, right? I mean, you could argue, oh, well, balance of power is in the favor of Ferrari, blah, blah, but Ferrari doesn't compete stateside. They compete at Le Mans and then they go home, or they do some other big race. They go back to Maranello and they ignore everybody for another year. The 963 comes over here and competes against Cadillac and Acura or Aston in the Valkyrie, or whatever it is, and gets its butt handed to it. It's just been hit or miss. And granted, yeah, you got the power of Penske and all these other independent privateers and all this kind of stuff. It hasn't come together for this car. And so I said after the first year, I'll be amazed if the 963 makes it 3 years. And here we are at the end of the 3rd year going into the 4th season. And they said, no, that's it. It's done. Sad, but not sad.
I don't care about that car.
So I think we're going to try to start something new here. And it's Tanya's goal as a result of last month's mental gymnastics, trying to figure out Jonathan Pryce and the Infinity commercials and whoever this British guy is that eats the apple that we still don't know. It's like the Sinbad movie. We tried. You should have gone through the exercise with us. We were asking like ChatGPT and we asked Stephen Izzy and all these other people, do you know about the British guy eating the apple in the white suit and the commercial, blah, blah.
I know he was somewhere. There's some sitcom where he's going to show up one day, some old TV show where he was in an episode also. One day this mystery will be solved.
Probably on Frasier.
It was he? I gotta go back and watch Frasier.
I'm just giving her an excuse to watch Frasier at this point.
I don't think you need to give her an excuse to watch Frasier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been like 5 minutes since I've watched the whole thing, so I gotta start again.
So this little gem that Tanya found, I think we're going to try to do this every month, is find wacky car commercials that maybe have like celebrities in them. Brad, have you seen this one yet?
I think I saw it when Tanya posted it, yes.
I would also just like to say that this gem is in the vein of the mystery British guy biting the apple at the end commercial.
And what is this commercial for?
God knows.
Canon pixel jet printers starring
Nigel Mansell.
It's like a Japanese commercial.
Only aired in Japan.
キャノンピクセルジェット誕生
But the ending is what gets me. What is with the strawberry? What?
I don't know. And his creepy face.
What is happening?
Yummy.
That's a very Japanese thing to do, I think.
Yes.
Did you also notice that his eyebrows are as bushy as his mustache?
Wonder what else is.
I mean, I could just watch those last 5 seconds on repeat where he's like,
good.
yeah, and eating the
good.
strawberry. It's very creepy, but very satisfying at the same time. Like, I have a whole new respect for Nigel Mansell as a result of this commercial. This is amazing stuff. Amazing stuff.
Good.
Right.
You know, Petit's not the important bit of news. We need to catch up and find out about Franz Herman and how he did at the Nürburgring.
He did fantastic.
Oh, yeah?
So he has a racing team, Verstappen.com Racing. And so his co-driver is a sim racer. And Verstappen did a Verstappen, and he was so far ahead of everybody else. The gap was ridiculous. And when his co-driver came in for his stint, that gap closed down so much that he's lucky that Max was his teammate, or he wouldn't have finished in anything. So Max is going to Max, and he debuts on the Nordschleife and dominates.
Because he's one of the best.
Apparently so.
Franz Herman, where we're going to watch out for more Franz Herman action. Didn't he also exit stage right? Like, he did his stint and then he pieced out. So he left his teammate there to like sort of finish the race and he didn't care how it ended.
So it looked like that, but in the end, no, he actually was, I think, on the podium with him. But it definitely looked like he was going to just leave.
That's awesome.
Which is also maxing.
We have what, 5, 6 more races to go. It seems like it's unending. I mean, we still have Mexico and we've got Las Vegas and we got this and we got that. We got so many races to watch before the end of the season that comes to its crescendo at Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi, which I'm super looking forward to that race because I really do enjoy that track on the Sims. So let's just talk about COTA, shall we? The U.S. Grand Prix. One of three, because we got Miami, we've got Texas, and we've got Las Vegas. But Coda's the most interesting of the three. I don't know about you, Tanya, but I think the sprint race was more exciting than the actual race.
I mean, the sprint race was Forza Turn 1 chaos. Absolute chaos.
I love the whole Zach Brown blames Hulkenberg and then he retracts it and then everybody's blaming Hulkenberg, but it's not Hulkenberg's fault. Is it really Lando's fault or is it Oscar's fault? Nobody knew whose fault it was, but all I know there was a pile of rubble in that turn and it was exciting.
Stroll's fault. It's always Stroll's
No,
fault.
Stroll had his own moment, which was absolutely hilarious. Who did he wipe out?
Ocon.
Yeah, and he did a hit and run. He tried to drive off. His front wheel is like bouncing, barely connected. And he's driving. As he goes around Ocon, he waves at him like, oh, so sorry. And he tries to drive away. I was dying. It was the funniest thing I'd seen in Formula One all year. I was like, Stroll, what's going on, bro?
Wow.
Unreal. No, the sprint race was absolutely amazing. But it was good for Verstappen, right? He took an extra 8 points home, which leans into his first place win. So it's 25 points for the win.
Yep.
So now he's got 31 extra points towards the championship. And I turned to Tanya and I said, is he going to make the ultimate comeback in Formula One? Because nobody's ever done this before, even in the modern times, the old times, the Senna days, Schumacher before. Nobody's done over 100-point swing to come back and win the championship. But I think he can pull it off.
He can't do it alone, though.
There is a chance. Mathematically, he can do this as long as Oscar screws up.
And he wins everything, including the sprint races.
If Max wins everything. So just running some simple scenarios. If he wins the last two remaining sprint races and the last 5 races, Oscar can come in second every time except one time and Max will win. But if Oscar comes in second every time in the races and the sprint races and Max comes in first, there's a 3-point difference.
You know what I'm going to tell you that's going to make sure that Oscar doesn't achieve that? Okay. It's 2 things.
Stroll.
The first one is Lando and the second one is Norris. Okay. So Lando's not going to let it happen. All right. He's either going to take him out or he's going to call up Big Papa Papaya Zach Brown. He's going to say, team orders. You need to put Oscar behind me because I'm the primary driver this week, remember? That's what's going to happen.
Mathematically, if Max wins the next 5 races and the next 2 sprint races, even if Lando comes in second in all those races, he cannot beat Max.
Oscar can't beat Max.
Lando can't beat Max.
That's what I'm saying. Verstappen's got it in the bag because McLaren's going to take themselves out.
If that happens, if they are not podium or they take each other out completely, and if Max can win every race, it's done. He is a 5-time champion.
Telling you it's going to happen. The crystal ball, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're not going to see the stupidity that we saw earlier this year where Max is taking people out and coming in like 13th and like whatever he was doing in the middle of the year.
He was doing that for Christian Horner.
Well, yeah, right. But I'm also wondering if some of that was like to get to this point, right? Like, all right, Max, you got to throw these races away because then...
No. Max, in the little that he lets you know about himself, because he's a very private person. And although he is having his own documentary coming out, I forget on what service.
It'd be as exciting as that Scott Dixon thing we reviewed.
Yes, because he's that kind of person. But to my point, he is not the kind of person. He would give a big middle finger to you if someone came to him and said, throw a race. He is never going to do that. He is always going to want to win. Just like, how can he race at Nordschleife in the middle of his F1 season? How can he go do GT3 racing and all this other stuff? Has any other driver ever gone and done another series? Usually it's like, oh my God, you can't even go fart in the corner because God forbid you get injured and you can't race. And yet he's out here doing whatever the F he wants because he can and he will. And he doesn't care. So there's no way I believe that he was throwing anything. His car was crap, and he dealt with it the best way he could.
Eric just wrote the next script for Drive to Survive that he's not going to watch.
I'm never going to watch.
I think also, like Max didn't start racing in GT3, sport car racing until Christian Horner left. Am I correct in saying that?
It all happened last
I don't
year.
know.
I thought.
He was doing a ton of sim racing, but he never
Yeah.
actually competed in a
I thought he
real-
did that test with the Acura like last year and some other stuff.
What was it? An actual official race?
The Franz Herman is new for this year.
Well, even the sim racing, he's been told not to do it. And
Mm.
he's basically said, F you, because he'll do sim racing where he's racing all through the night, especially like these endurance sim racings. And then the next day, he's getting a couple hours of sleep, next day getting the Formula One car to race. And basically his answer was, I just won the race. What's the problem?
Yeah.
And I think that is a valid answer.
Touche. Like,
Yeah. Where's my number 2?
yeah, I stayed up all night playing my sim racing, but I just came out here, qualified on pole, and then won the race. So
Because he downs like a 6-pack of Red Bull. I mean, come on, it's got to be in his veins.
He's racing with rich energy.
Oh man, that's the secret formula right there. I didn't realize until I was going through all this stuff with the clubhouse and going through the vault and the pictures. When we went to Coda in 2018, it's been a minute, pre-COVID, Max was already running at Red Bull. I mean, he's been in Formula One for quite a long time. To your point, Tanya, he doesn't care anymore.
he was basically one of the youngest people. He was like 17 or something. He was like controversial too, him getting his license like at the age that he did.
I'm telling you, he's going to be up there. People are going to be talking about him like Schumacher and Fangio and Senna. He's going to be the next one. Crystal ball says so. Well, since you brought up sim racing, this weekend, EA Sports gave F1 2025 away for free through Steam from Friday night through Monday afternoon, and we got our hands on it. What do we think? What do we think about the Formula One simulator?
It was a lot better than I was expecting it to be, because I still remember I haven't played a Formula One race game since, I don't know, Formula One 2002 or something. I don't know, like 1998.
The last time it was free.
And it was horrible. They were like unplayable. As soon as you try to accelerate, spin like a top. And it's like every time you try to accelerate out of a corner, they're sideways and spinning, and they were unbearable. But I was expecting something similar to this. And instead it was not at all like that. And it felt very smooth. And I mean, you could tell it was different than like a Forza or, some other, if you want to call it sim, some other racing game, if you will. But I was pleased with it.
Man, you played a lot newer Formula One game than I did. The last Formula One game I played was the Nigel Mansell World Championship on Super Nintendo. That's like a step above pole position.
No, I'm sorry. It was the last Formula One game I played was the Tiger handheld.
Oh man, you're going way back.
And that was the only sound effect.
Yeah, no, to your point, I tried it out too, and I liked it. Now, the question is, do I want to spend the $80 or $100 or whatever it costs
Yeah, that's the problem.
to buy it? And the problem is, here we are at the tail end of the Formula One season, and EA's like, oh, we'll give it to you for free because 2026 is coming out. And unlike EA's other products, where like WRC, they just keep adding to it. All you had to do was buy it in 2023, and they've continued to just add on to it and add on to it and add on to it. Formula One is like Madden. It was like Madden 22 and 23 and 24 and 25. So they're following that model, and that's what sucks. It's like, well, I'm going to pay full price or maybe the discounted price because of this promotional weekend. But it's like the new one's around the corner. Again, do you wait for 2026 to come out, but you're going to pay $100, or do you buy 2025 and look at Doohan, and other drivers that aren't in the field anymore, on the 2025 roster? I don't know.
My problem with those games is like how much improvement is actually made other than the roster changes. How much do they improve the game itself, the gameplay, the graphics and everything year over year? Like,
you probably played Madden or NBA back in the day, so a lot of the times it was like reskinning, new boxing.
it never really felt any different.
And every so many years they would change the mechanics, or they would change the UI, or technology would advance and it would force them to change, and they couldn't just kind of lather, rinse, repeat. And I think the same is a Formula One. It's like, okay, well, we use the Ego engine and it's tuned for Formula One, blah, blah, blah. And so none of that stuff really changes, because if you think about it, the way the cars are shaped don't mean a hill of beans in the digital world, because there's no airflow. So the cars run at a prescribed speed and all those kinds of things. To your point, I think there's a little bit more of that regurgitation going on the Formula One side than there would be maybe in any other game or franchise,
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get into with the Formula One game, which I found a little bit of a struggle as I sat there, playing it, is I enjoyed going to Coda because I know Coda from literal firsthand experience. And then you look at the rest of the roster and you're like, oh, well, I don't know any of these tracks. Like other than yeah, Spa, I know Spa because you've played Spa in other racing games, but then it's like Miami. What a trash heap.
That is a terrible track.
Horrible, terrible course, right? Like at least, you go to something like Forza or whatever, and it's like Watkins Glen and VIR, and you have these other tracks that maybe are a little bit more familiar, which makes it fun as well, right? Because there's a little bit of attachment there. I don't know, go into some of the tracks that are in the Formula One roster. It's like, this track sucks. Like, I don't even like watching it, let alone playing it fictitiously.
Definitely got a bunch of those on my list too. So those are all in the negative column, in the con column of why I don't want to spend the $80 on, the next title of Formula One. I'd rather have something with a little bit more diversity.
Right.
Brazil crowned Norris again, but Las Vegas under the neon lights delivered chaos. Verstappen won, yet McLaren's double disqualification sent shockwaves through the standings. November was not just a twist, it was the season's gamble.
Shall we talk a little bit Formula One?
Definitely why you're wearing that hat.
1000%, right? The only thing that we need to talk about is Brazil. Who saw the Sao Paulo race?
Highlights.
Yeah. How the hell everyone's saying, oh, God, Verstappen coming from last to third? Something's fishy about that.
He did it before in the rain, 17th to 1st. So had he not had the stupid, lap 2 tire change?
Yeah.
Wait, he got stuck in a pit and got down to 17th?
No, he started in pit because he changed the engine overnight and a bunch of other modifications. And he failed out of qualifying for the first time like ever in Q1. So he started at a pit and then like literally like a handful of laps in, got a puncture and had to go pit in and change tires, but still managed to finish the race in third.
It was unreal.
Breathing down the neck of Antonelli in second place. If there was like one more lap, he would.
Oh yeah, he would have had him
in second place.
Something with Max Verstappen, and we share the same first name, so I appreciate him quite a bit. The other shoe is going to drop on him one day. I just have a feeling it's going to be like Lance Armstrong. And they're going to say, "Oh my God, this guy has like." Well, it's probably not drugs or anything like that, but it's like they're going to analyze his brain and realize he fucking sees in slow motion or something, so he can react faster. I mean, we've all seen it. Like, he's made passes that shouldn't be possible on tracks and stuff. This guy is just a monster. And now he's doing it in computer games and stuff. He's like a computer gamer, and he's a monster at that too. I don't know if that necessarily always translates, real driving to computer driving.
Yeah, well, as hell, he's running at the Nürburgring. He's got his, that GT3 team, whatever.
Yeah.
That's why these last 3 races, I think, are going to be interesting because especially Vegas being the street race and then the last 2. So, a lot of stuff can happen in regards to that. I mean, the points, he's not that far off. I think all it takes is for Lando to crash and not finish one race.
He's not racing in Le Mans 26, is he?
No.
When is that going to happen? When is he going over to Supercar?
Everything he's been doing now is to do the Nordschleife endurances, right?
Yeah, basically.
24.
Does he not have sponsorship to get to Le Mans, or is he?
I'm sure he does, but I wonder if there's some sort of F1 contractual block.
I had that same thought, but if there was, then how could they wouldn't have let him run the Nürburgring?
Yeah,
for the GT3. So, but who knows though? Because those contracts are insane in regards to you can do this, you can't do that. And
I have a feeling his contract must say middle finger. I'm gonna do what I want, and if you don't like it, I'm gonna go to another team who'll let me do what I want.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't doubt
Red
it.
Bull's
You're right.
not going to let him go.
No.
They said it was the Canadian Grand Prix is what kicked him out of Le Mans for some reason this year.
Yeah, because they always have conflict on the calendar.
Correct, because it's the same weekend.
Same weekend.
Well, now here's a big thing too, is now they effed up Memorial Day weekend in regards to moving Monaco to 2 weeks before now. And so there's only going to be the 2. Instead, that was always a great day. You wake up and watch the F1 Monaco and the Indy 500, and you got the Coca-Cola 600. And now it's screwed up.
So Sao Paulo, just for a second to go back. There was a moment, though, and the radio call was awesome. So Max makes it from worst to first. He's in first place in the pit cycles and all this kind of thing. But he's on a harder compound tire. And they tell him, Max, I didn't think I was going to be able to tell you this, but you are currently in first place. And he goes, that's not bad, right? And then he just keeps driving. But like 2 or 3 laps later, they pitted him to put him on softs, which I thought was stupid. They should have just left him on. He would have been fine on the mediums for the rest of this, and he actually would have won the race. But I think that pit stop actually caused him to throw that race away, which I think was dumb. I think he could have done it. He had enough lead on Lando that he could have just achieved a miracle. Basically, they said nobody has ever been able to do this in the history of Formula One, which was come basically from last place from the pit and win a race. I mean, he already achieved the fact that he podiumed, but to win would have been incredible. I think they should have left him out there. So that was a mistake on Red Bull's strategy. But I will say the rest of the race, I thought Imola was exciting this year, and there was a couple others that were like, ooh, this is good, you know? This race was the best race of the year. It had everything, just shenanigans, wrecks, like all this stuff was going on. I was like, this is why you watch Formula One. Like it's sort of like they took them all off the leash and let them do whatever they wanted to do, and it was amazing, right? The one thing I noticed the last couple of races, correct me if I'm wrong, did Lando get a talking to, or is it team orders? Like, what's going on at McLaren? Because there's no more Oscar, Lando.
Well, they're not even racing against each other. Oscar's, I don't know what's happened to him. He's fallen off the podium.
Exactly. And suddenly Lando, every race, he's like a machine. Super consistent, the fastest car, ahead by 20 seconds. And I'm like, what gives? Where'd this come from?
Swapped cars.
Yeah. He's driving Oscar's car. That's what it is. Yeah.
Well, the Australians are having a heyday in regard to conspiracies, in regards to all that stuff. And,
Oh, really?
oh, God, yeah. Well, they're saying, they're favoring Lando because they want a British driver to win and a British team, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And, Lando's been there forever. So all the Australians are saying they're favoring him and sabotaging Oscar. I mean, that's not true.
Do we?
I know Lando kind of had his mid-season. Maybe. Lando had his little personal pep talk where he quit drinking, all this stuff, and says, I got to do this, this, and this. So, I mean, he really narrowed his focus back to how it should be all season, a few races back. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe that played a role, but, I mean, he's got his shit back together, that's for sure. The kid can drive, that's for sure, but he doesn't have that.
He can't drive like Max.
No, he doesn't have that bit in his teeth where it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
Did it start raining or something? Why did they switch his tires?
No, it was weird because that track's not that long. It's 2.5 miles. Everybody pitted like 3 times. Like other races, like we're going to go to plan A, one stop strategy, blah, 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 blah. We're going to stretch out the medium tires for 56 laps, kind of garbage. And then this time they pitted like every 10 minutes.
Dig.
Absolutely nutty.
The dig. It's the dig.
The tire digger. They were talking about how like Sao Paulo is built on a part of the earth that it's constantly moving, so the track is never the same, and like all this, like it sounded like Bill Nye the Science Guy all the time. And I was like, what are we? This has got to be BS. Like somebody call Mythbusters because there's no way this is true.
Michelin was the sponsor. They wanted more tires going.
Oh, that reminds me of that Indy race where like 4 cars started because everybody was protesting Bridgestone or whatever it was that year. It was terrible.
Yeah, that was horrendous. That's what killed that race at Indy.
Yeah, that it really was.
Big factor in it.
Yeah. Well, that Ralph Schumacher hit the wall, right? That wasn't really good either for
No, that was bad. Hindsight's 2020, but so where it got to now, back then, I mean, I would say a blessing, but Austin's been fantastic. Vegas and Miami are going to go by the wayside in another 5 years, but Austin's not going to go anywhere.
It's a dedicated track. They got to pay for that thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think they just signed an extension till 2036 or something for that too.
Oh my goodness. Well, I look forward to seeing how the Formula One season closes. After the last race of the year, which is Yas Marina, looking forward to that too. I like that track on all the simulators. We'll see how it all came together and whether or not I stick with Formula One next year. I will have achieved my challenge though. I've seen all the races this year. You can't say that I didn't watch them.
Qatar's desert heat, Abu Dhabi's fading sunset. The final battles decided the crown. And as the fireworks lit the Yas Marina sky, the 2025 season closed its book. A year of rivalries, redemption, and relentless speed, etched forever into Formula One history.
So we have made it to the crescendo of the Formula One season.
Crescendo or climax?
That's dealer's choice on that one. Sort of like Las Vegas was dealer's choice, but we're going to leave that where it is. We have suffered through. Well, I'm sorry. Is that the wrong adjective? Suffered through? We have made it through 24 races this year, and we now have crowned a new Formula One champion.
Congratulations, Lance Stroll. Congratulations, Lance Stroll.
Before we get into He said, she said, were they right? Were they wrong? What do we think about our new crowned prince of Formula One?
I think the silence speaks volumes.
Tanya's face alone. I want to discuss something really, really important about the race at Yas Marina. The move on Tsunoda by Lando.
Somehow that's legal, even though he was 4 wheels outside the white line.
Right?
But Tsunoda, I think the steward's rationale was Tsunoda made the
Moved.
extra moves and forced him to basically do that. So it was Tsunoda was at fault.
They called it aggressive weaving, but he didn't move. There's been people that have moved way more freaking aggressively than Tsunoda did.
Like Lando at the start of the previous race when he almost took out Max when they left the line.
To me, it was a repeat of the short-sighted tactic that he took in Canada against Oscar when he put it in the wall. It was the same move. But what I thought was interesting about the whole Yas Marina debacle, outside of the fact that they penalized Tsunoda and then let Lando go, was just before that, Red Bull gets on the radio with Tsunoda and was like, it is now time for the nuclear option, or whatever they said to him. And Tsunoda goes,
Sweep the leg.
yeah, pretty much, right? And he's like, I know exactly what I need to do. And we're sitting there just rubbing our hands. We're like, this is the moment we've been waiting for, because Tsunoda's signature move is to put a front wheel in a side pod and you end up somewhere in a different racetrack. And he continues driving and he's like, oh, I didn't see you there. Driving my line, blah, 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 blah. It didn't, I was so beside myself. Like, I think it was the biggest FU to Red Bull because he did know what he needed to do. Everybody knew what he was going to do. They were waiting for it. And he said, and he sort of like half-assed it. But unfortunately, Lando did this other, we'll call it the Canada maneuver. And it was all bullshit. It was terrible. That was the moment. Had the FIA done what they should have done, which was penalize Lando.
Should have penalized both of them, probably.
Yes, both. I don't care. It didn't matter if they penalized Tsunoda.
And they did penalize Tsunoda, but what does it matter?
Yeah, it's like, he's going to IndyCar. Who cares? But if they had penalized Lando, Max would have won. It's so close. So close. So close. That is a moment in F1 history that I think will just live in infamy as like the deciding moment that made Lando the champion. Somebody got fired for that.
Yeah, Tsunoda.
Get out of my head. Max lost by what, 2 points after everything was said and done?
Correct.
He was so close.
Which race could have been the race, had everything else played out the same way, would have made the biggest difference for Max?
They say it's the race where he crashed into Russell.
You know what's funny about this whole Lando, now the Formula One champion? Everything on social media has come to like a grinding halt. There really wasn't anything. Like after every Formula One race, it's like my phone explodes. And there's the typical Connor and all those guys doing their thing and their impressions, but it all died off really quick. There has been nothing. It's been quiet. Shouldn't there be some Lando memes or something? Like some goodness out there? Nothing?
What would the meme be?
We're all depressed.
I think you're right.
The only people that wanted Lando to win was Lando.
Pretty much.
His own team didn't even want him to win. They were rooting for Piastri.
Papaya rules, which are totally lame. Never mind. Again, I told you guys I don't like the way they handle themselves on that team. I don't get it. I don't understand what they're trying to do. Good on them. I mean, we predicted that they were going to win the Constructors' Championship, and they did. I mean, that was many, many races ago. Collusion aside, it was a hell of a season finale, though, whether it was staged for television or otherwise. I mean, it literally came down to the wire. It came down to like the last pit stop. And there was a moment there where I thought Max was going to take it. I mean, I really did. Does it light a fire under his butt for next year? Or
I mean, of course, he's not going to sit back and be like, oh, I'll just lose.
I feel like he's going to be championing a new co-driver.
Well, here's the problem. They're already setting us up for Max not to win because, McLaren stopped developing their car mid-season so they could focus on development of the 2026 car. But Red Bull really kept focusing on developing the car this season for the end. And that's why he was doing so much better
So really now they're on the back foot for 2026. Plus they're going to have the new engine, so they don't stand any chance.
Blah, blah, freaking blah.
Isaac got moved into the Red Bull seat, so we shall see if the second seat curse continues and if he will suck a butt or be able to be halfway decent.
I saw some videos where Hadjar was outspoken about how he does not like Max and they do not get along. So that's going to be really, really interesting.
When was the last time Red Bull didn't stand a chance?
Right?
They stood a chance this year against McLaren. They stood a chance pretty much every year in the Mercedes years. I mean, yeah, there were some times where the Mercedes were just clearly like a lot faster, but Red Bull was always right behind them. Since I've started watching, which is relatively recently, I can't think of a year where Red Bull was not in the hunt.
With all the changes happening at Red Bull, new management, new designer, new engine, new car, new co-driver, new everything, right? If they end up doing better than Aston, what does that say about the magical powers of the wizard Adrian Newey?
Well, we won't know till next year.
I think what that says is one man does not make a championship F1 team.
Ain't that the truth? It is an army to put these cars out there. We argued many times about the inferior Mercedes. I think Mercedes put a pretty good show up this year, especially considering surprise of the season, rookie Kimi Antonelli. That kid can drive.
Especially when he crashes into other people.
He can drive, he just can't see.
Well, there's other crashy people out there like Lance.
I don't think Lance crashed anybody this season.
You remember the sprint race at Coda? He definitely crashed people.
No, that wasn't him. I thought that was Hulkenberg.
No, when he ended up plowing into, and then he waved at the guy. Remember that?
Wasn't it Signs? Didn't he run into Signs? I thought?
Yes.
So he had one crash the whole season.
I mean, that's a non-zero number.
One crash involving another car.
Yeah.
That's basically no crashes for him.
Didn't he take himself out?
I am very hopeful for Kimi Antonelli going into next season. I think he's got some real promise looking at what he's been capable of doing this year with quote unquote the inferior Mercedes. And he's a rookie not knowing half of the tracks.
Are we making predictions for next year already?
Not yet.
Okay, because I've got mine.
We're still talking about this year's stuff. I still think quote of the season is David Coulthard mid-season talking about the fact that they still let pensioners out on the track. I am determined that Alonso needs to retire.
Nope.
42 is the new 75. Like, what is
Guess
he doing?
who finished in 10th place? Alonso.
Boo. That's like first place in FP2.
He's going to have an Adrian Newey car next year.
With a Honda engine. So they're going to get all the old Red Bull motors. They're going to get the Red Bull designer. And when does Christian Horner show up?
Well, he's too busy trying to mack on the lady mechanics and stuff.
Yeah.
That's his work. No, I think the quote of the year was, I think there's some water in the car and the team.
Yeah.
It must be the water.
The only thing entertaining about Russell, though, is his constant complaining.
I think that's why I don't like him.
Tattletaling.
Petulant
all
child.
do it, but
yeah, they do.
he's the whinier one, though.
Exactly. So you kind of love it because you want to hear it and they play it over the air because it adds something to extremely boring races. And, I've wondered about, we've talked about this while we watch the races. Are those clips from the drivers actually in real time? Or are they just sort of grabbing stuff and throwing it in when they feel like it to spice up the race?
Yeah.
His stuff does add a little bit of just comic relief to some very boring races sometimes.
I think the best one was, and I think it was last season, not this past season. He was getting agitated because it was raining. It was raining. He's like, guys, it's raining. And then he was like, oh, wait a second. It's my sweat. Like, you couldn't tell it was on the inside of your visor?
No,
Not
when you
the
got
outside.
those big eyelashes, it's like windshield
It was
wipers.
splashing it up. You're right. I hadn't thought about that.
I like that one time Red Bull messed up the pit strategy and they put Max on those hard tires and he comes to the radio and he's like, what are these tires? Like, he had no clue what they had put on the car and it was like absolutely horrendous. It was so bad.
Maybe that was the race that decided it.
So rounding out 2025, I think another surprise of the season, Ali Bierman. We got to keep eyes on Ali Bierman. Those last couple of races, especially in the Haas, holy smokes. dude was flying. Like, obviously, they did some redesigns and things like that late season, but still, he's a kid that can drive. I think we need to keep eyes on Ollie Bierman going forward. So, things to wrap out 2025. Tanya, did you watch the Formula One movie?
No.
Oh, dang. So, we're going to have to carry that into next year then. We're going to keep
Yeah.
pestering you about the movie until you watch it.
It's going to become the Matt Damon, Jimmy Kimmel joke.
Once I get my Apple TV subscription, because you have to watch Formula One next year on Apple TV, I guess then I can watch the Apple movie because it doesn't stream anywhere, including on airplanes. So there you have it.
Mwah.
I think I saw it on Prime.
Not for free.
Yes, I forgot. There's a caveat there.
You pay for Prime to then pay more to watch the stuff on Prime. No, thank you.
That being said, there are rumors of them making another Formula One movie. Guess who's going to be in it? Have you heard about this?
Denzel Washington.
Wait. I know. So we had Brad Pitt in the first one, and then Brad Pitt will be back in the second one. And we'll add George Clooney, and then we'll add Matt Damon, and then we'll add
Ocean's Formula One. It'll be a casino heist at the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
You're close.
There is going to be an Ocean's something coming out.
17, yeah.
Ocean's F1. There you go. It's perfect.
You're close. You want to take another stab at who they could possibly get. I'll give you a hint. Who has recently retired from a long-running movie franchise?
Oh my God, Vin Diesel.
Paul Walker.
He said, he let rest in peace. He said Tom Cruise.
I said Tom Cruise.
Yes, Tom Cruise. They are talking about bringing in Tom Cruise for the second Formula One movie.
Of course they will. Bullshit. We need
Full Trickle
we need
making a
Days of
comeback.
Thunder Part 2.
If they remade Days of Thunder now, what would that be
No.
like?
We're getting Days of DRS
I
instead.
thought the Drive to Survive.
No, they can't remake Days of Thunder. They'd have to continue it.
Yeah, they'd have to continue it. They didn't remake Top Gun. They continued it.
We digress from Formula One. If Days of Thunder had never come out when it did, and it came out today, that'd be some boring ass shit.
It would be pretty terrible.
It would be
terrible.
bad. Like there would be, what would be the drama be? It'd be like fisticuffs. I mean, I guess there were fisticuffs in Days of Thunder too, but I don't know. I don't think it would hit as well.
Come on down here and get yourself some ice cream. That's the best
Eric's
quote.
favorite quote from any movie ever.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
When they went to the hospital, weren't they like drag racing each other in LeBarons or something?
They were rental cars, yeah.
Were they LeBarons or what were they?
No, I think one was a
Yeah,
was a
Illumina.
Illumina, because that's what they raced back.
They were the street versions or whatever the NASCAR cars were.
I think it was a Lumina and a Taurus.
And they were hot garbage, but it worked. Can you imagine? What would they do today? A Camry?
And a Camry.
Camry and a
No, it'd
Camaro,
be
I guess.
a Pimpala.
Yeah,
and a
right.
Camry.
So looking back over the year, it was an exciting year. I mean, I'm glad you guys, I'm going to say, forced me into watching the season and giving up Rally. And I didn't watch anything else.
That sounds like a personal choice.
I watched Rolex and I watched the 24 Hours of Le Mans. But Formula One for me still isn't what it used to be. There's a lot of things I could do without. But unfortunately, I feel like I have to commit to another year.
Yeah, of course.
Commit to the bit.
With all these changes that are coming and the new teams and the new regs and the new cars and
New old drivers.
yeah, I think that leads us to a bit of an issue with the way we've been handling Formula One as part of Break Fix and the Drive Thru and everything else. So here's an idea. If we're going to commit to another year of Formula One and really digging into it, why don't we spin off a sub-series of the Drive Thru? I got this like idea just scratching away at my brain. I'm thinking Formula Fanatics. And all we do is talk about Formula One. And if you don't like it, you can skip over it. And you don't have to listen to us on the Drive Thru talk about it. We can actually focus on real news and not our own version of Drive to Survive. What do you think?
Like a short 30-minute segment. What do we do for the other 24 minutes?
Revisit our predictions each race and see how close we are.
We get to talk about the races, the results, what happened, the drama, all of it. It's going to be awesome.
And to Tanya's point, what do you do with the other 26 minutes?
It's a lovely idea. I think people will enjoy that.
Brad, are you in? Are you committing?
I am in with the caveat that we do not call it Formula Fanatics because I think that name is just atrocious.
Well, then that's the name we're going with.
Great. I will make sure I am not prepared for any of those episodes.
And so, as the echoes of the 2025 season fade, we're left with more than just statistics and standings. We're left with memories. The roar of Melbourne, the glitter of Monaco, the heartbreak of Vegas, and the sunset of Abu Dhabi. A year where legends were challenged, rookies rose, and the balance of power shifted with every turn of the wheel. Formula One is never just about who wins. It's about the relentless pursuit, the rivalries that define an era, and the stories that remind us of why we watch. The 2025 season gave us all of that and more. So as the engines fall silent and the paddock empties, one truth remains: the chase never ends. Because in Formula One, tomorrow is always waiting just beyond the next corner.
The Drive Thru is our monthly news episode and is sponsored in part by organizations like CollectorCarGuide.net, Project Motoring, Garage Style Magazine, the Exotic Car Marketplace, and many others. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor of the Drive Thru, look no further than www.motoringpodcast.net. Click About and then Advertising. Thank you again to everyone that supports the Motoring Podcast Network, Grand Touring Motorsports, our podcast Break Fix, and all the other services we provide.